Chapter 436. Shameless Boasting. When Mo Qingyun's words entered into Lung Hui's ears, it instantly caused his face to sink slightly, and he said with disdain, Mo Qingyun, based on what you said, you seem to intend to stop me from seizing the first in the academy competition. You said that? Mo Qingyun smiled faintly. He looked at Lung Hui meaningfully and said, Lung Hui, it's best not to jump to conclusions until the very last moment. Be careful that extreme joy turns to sorrow in the end. Haha, that's too funny. Lung Hui burst into laughter when he heard this. He did not take Mo Qingyun's words to heart at all. Mo Qingyun, you think too highly of yourself. Do you know how big the gap between you and me is? The gap between us is like the difference between the clouds and the mud. Mo Qingyun said indifferently. Lung Hui smiled proudly. At least you know your place. I think you are mistaken. What I meant was that you are the mud, and I am the cloud. Mo Qingyun explained with a smile when he saw that Lung Hui had misinterpreted his words. Humph. Lung Hui snorted coldly when he heard Mo Qingyun's words. His face darkened. Cousin Lung Hui, there is no need to say anything more to this fellow. I will take care of him for you later. Without waiting for Lung Hui to speak, Lung Chong, who was behind him, looked at Mo Qingyun with a dark expression. Mo Qingyun, if you want to stand up for a woman, you will have to get past me first. You? Ha! Mo Qingyun scoffed when he saw Lung Chong's actions. He shook his head and did not say anything else. However, although Mo Qingyun did not say anything, anyone with a discerning eye could tell that Mo Qingyun was mocking Lung Chong. After giving Lung Chong a disdainful smile, Mo Qingyun no longer hesitated. He stepped onto the ladder and arrived at the fighting ring in a few flashes. Stepping onto the battle platform, Mo Qingyun smiled at Yi Wuyo as he spoke in a loud voice. Senior Sister Wuyo, I will let everyone know that today is not the day the Worryless Pavilion disband, but the day the Worryless Pavilion rises to prominence. Yes, I believe you can do it. Upon hearing Mo Qingyun's words, tears welled up in Yi Wuyo's eyes. He was touched. She vaguely remembered that not long ago, Mo Qingyun went to the prefecture alone to find a 1,000-year ice lotus to cure the poison in Ruoshue's body. He successfully refined the ice dew golden pill to save Ruoshue. This time, Mo Qingyun fought for her in the Jade Peak Hall. Would he be able to create another miracle? At this moment, Yi Wuyo's pretty face tensed up. Her heart was filled with nervousness. She unconsciously pinched the corner of her clothes, revealing the side of a little girl. Senior Sister Wuyo, the same goes for us. At this moment, Lu Fengliang and the others, who were on the cloud platforms, also had a determined look on their faces as they made a bold statement. Thank you all. Upon hearing everyone's words, Yi Wuyo burst into tears of joy. She thanked Lu Fengliang and the rest. In that case, today, we will let everyone witness the rise of the Worryless Pavilion in front of everyone. Upon seeing the actions of Lu Fengliang and the rest, Mo Qingyun smiled brightly and spoke heroically. Today, he would let the Worryless Pavilion rise to prominence in Dian Province before everyone's eyes. What an interesting lad. I wonder what kind of performance he will give us next. Upon seeing Mo Qingyun's performance in the fighting ring, Yi Jingtian smiled faintly. His eyes were filled with anticipation. Wuyo, this lass, seems to have gotten to know a group of decent little fellows. Yi Jinglei, who was beside Yi Jingtian, smiled faintly and said, The know-it-all strength is much stronger than Deng He's. Qin Yun has met a strong opponent this time. Lin Tang's expression was tense as he spoke these words of worry. Even if Qin Yun can't defeat the know-it-all, he can still defeat Deng He with his cultivation. Among those of the same cultivation, he could be proud of himself. Lin Shi sighed. Mo Qingyun's performance had already exceeded her expectations. Upon hearing Lin Shi's words, Lin Tang's expression couldn't help but tremble. He suddenly recalled Mo Qingyun's word from before. Getting first place in the Earth grade competition is the same? Upon recalling Mo Qingyun's words, Lin Tang's face immediately revealed a look of anticipation. He clenched his fists and exclaimed in shock, "Stinky brat, can you do it?" At the thought of this, Lin Tang's heart became nervous. He suddenly realized that he seemed to have underestimated Mo Qingyun. From the current situation, as long as Mo Qingyun defeated the know-it-all, he would have the qualifications to fight with Lung Chong, the number one on the Earth grade competition. He was only one step away from achieving his goal. Oomph. One arrogant brat. With your cultivation of Yuan Dan level 4, you want to stop Lung Hui from marrying Princess Wuyo? You want to stop Lung Hui from obtaining first place in the school competition? Dream on. Long Wancho's face was filled with displeasure as he spoke these words of disapproval. In his opinion, with Mo Qingyun's cultivation of Yuan Dan level 4, it was impossible for him to defeat Lung Hui, who was a half-step into the Pill Palace. Once Long Wancho's words left his mouth, the expressions of the surrounding people changed. They subconsciously nodded their heads. At this moment, the people in the VIP seats were whispering to each other. On the Earth grade competition stage, "You're Mo Qingyun, right?" The know-it-all looked at Mo Qingyun in front of him with a cold expression. He said in a deep voice, "I don't care what grudges you have with Lung Hui. No matter what, I will not lose to you today." The know-it-all was originally the number one on the Earth grade competition. However, not long ago, he was defeated by Lung Chong and became the number 2 on the Earth grade competition. If he was defeated by Mo Qingyun now, he would become the number 3 on the Earth grade competition. This was not something he could accept. "You can't stop me." Towards the know-it-all's words, Mo Qingyun's face was indifferent. His tone was calm, as if he was stating a very ordinary matter. "Oomph. Then let's see who's stronger." The know-it-all snorted coldly. He took out a chessboard and raised his hand to point at the chessboard. Following that, the chessboard shone brightly and a huge image of the chessboard exploded, enveloping Mo Qingyun and himself. "Mo Qingyun, I will now show you the power of the army-breaking chessboard." The know-it-all's feet moved like the wind as he leaped onto the back of a warhorse in the chessboard. Thousands of soldiers and horses charged forward. The know-it-all leaped onto the back of the horse with a long sword in his hand. He was like a marshal who led the army into battle, commanding the thousands of soldiers and horses to charge forward. The shadow after shadow of the army-breaking cavalry appeared in midair. Waves of origin energy were trampled on by the army-breaking cavalry. They carried a shocking aura as they trampled on Mo Qingyun. The rider on the back of the armored horse brandished a long spear that glinted with a cold light and pierced towards Mo Qingyun's chest. "So, it's the 1,000 transformations chess. If that's the case, I'll play with you." Looking at the thousands of soldiers and horses charging towards him, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly. He took a step forward and stepped on a huge cannon. Continuous cannon fire. Mo Qingyun formed a strange seal with his hands and slammed his palm on the huge cannon. Instantly, the huge cannon fired and the cannon fodder roared. Faced with the bombardment of cannon fire, the thousands of army-breaking cavalry charging towards Mo Qingyun were instantly blasted into pieces. How could this be? Chapter 437. Is it difficult to control the Great Transformation Array chess? Mo Qingyun smiled nonchalantly at know-it-all's words and said, "The Great Transformation Array chess is not meant to be used like that. Let me teach you how to use it." Shameless boasting. You're just a disciple of the Wind Temple. Do you think you know chess better than me? Know-it-all snorted angrily. He did not think that Mo Qingyun really knew chess. Instead, he thought that Mo Qingyun was humiliating him. Haha, if that's the case, watch carefully. Mo Qingyun smiled faintly, but he did not refute. He had a confident look on his face. Know-it-all did not waste any more words. He took out a flag and threw it into the hands of a soldier on the chessboard. Divine soldier leaping over the heavenly river. With the flag in hand, the soldier's morale was greatly boosted. His eyes lit up and he exuded a heroic aura. Puff, puff, the soldier took a step forward. Immediately, shadow soldiers holding long scythes appeared on his body. They crossed the heavenly river in an imposing manner and crossed the territory. Deploying soldiers to scout the way and crossing the river on horseback, seeing No-At-All's action, Emo Chingyun immediately understood his intention. He smiled and said, "No-At-All, you're too naive." Divine horse suppressing the heavenly river. Emo Chingyun leaped onto the horse's back and urged it to guard the heavenly river. Suddenly, on both sides of the heavenly river, armored horses clanked. The knights swept their long spears and shot down the shadow soldiers crossing the river. How could this be? Seeing Emo Chingyun casually shoot his soldiers down the heavenly river and wash them away, No-At-All's face turned pale. It seemed that Emo Chingyun's mastery of the Great Transformation Array chess was above his. No-At-All felt bitter. The Great Transformation Array chess was his weapon, but he was not as proficient as Emo Chingyun in using it. To him, this was simply a great humiliation. Before No-At-All could recover from his shock, he saw Emo Chingyun's figure move and get into a chariot. The chariot rose into the air and drove straight toward him. The divine Might War Chariot was killing in all directions. Under Emo Chingyun's direction, the war chariot's aura soared to the sky. It swept through everything in its path. It killed everything in its path. It was extremely valiant. Faced with Emo Chingyun's wild and overbearing attack, No-At-All's expression immediately. He realized that he was in a situation to be beaten. At this moment, the people in the spectator seats were all shocked when they saw this scene. How is this possible? The No-At-All was actually forced into a perilous situation by Emo Chingyun in a chess game. Everyone's faces were filled with shock. They were extremely surprised by this scene. Originally, they thought that if Emo Chingyun wanted to defeat No-At-All, he should have broken through No-At-All's Great Transformation Array chess with brute force, just like Lung Chong. They had never imagined that Emo Chingyun would actually use chess to compete with No-At-All and even gain the upper hand at this moment. This situation was beyond everyone's expectations. This kid, seeing that Emo Chingyun had gained the upper hand, Lin Tang immediately became excited. He stood up in surprise and said, "This means that he really has a chance to win first place in the Earth Cohort Year Tournament." In other words, what Emo Chingyun said to him before wasn't just empty talk. This kid hit it for me so well. Lin Tang smiled bitterly, but he was extremely happy. He realized that he could not see through this disciple of his. At this moment, the chess hall's hall master and the elders also stood up like Lin Tang. They had realized that the chess techniques Emo Chingyun was using were killing moves that they had never seen before, only recorded in the history books. This is the heavenly horse overturning killing art, a killing move from the 300-year-old heavenly scripture of the grand horse art. A chess hall elder exclaimed, "Heavenly chariot displacement refining killing art, a killing move from the 700-year-old heavenly chariot shattering all arts." Another chess hall elder excitedly said, "Heavenly cannon chain killing art, twin horses drinking spring killing art, monarch suffocating palace killing art." Following this, all sorts of chess techniques were displayed before the chess hall's hall master and elders. At this sight, the hearts of the chess hall's hall master and elders were immediately thrown into turmoil. Emo Chingyun, a student of the Wind Hall, actually knew so many long-lost chess techniques. If they had not seen it with their own eyes, they would have never believed it. Of course, besides their shock, what made them vomit blood was the fact that Emo Chingyun was not a student of the chess hall, but a student of the Wind Hall. It had to be said that this scene was quite ironic. Is this kid really a student of the Wind Hall? The chess hall master, Sun Tianji, bitterly smiled as he looked at Lin Tang with jealousy. Given the talent Emo Chingyun had displayed, any hall he went to would have limitless glory. This Lin Tang fellow was truly lucky. At this moment, everyone couldn't help but sigh in their hearts as they looked at Lin Tang with envy. While everyone was sighing in their hearts, the result of Emo Chingyun's battle was decided. After defeating No-At-All, Emo Chingyun faintly smiled and said, "There's no need to thank me. Just treat it as a reward for playing chess with me. How much you can comprehend will depend on your luck. A reward for playing chess with me? Upon hearing Mo Qingyun's words, everyone's expressions immediately changed. They didn't know what to say. Mo Qingyun had beaten the other party so badly, yet he still had the nerve to say such words. His skin was really thick. However, what surprised everyone was that the chess hall master, Sun Tianji, actually smiled faintly and said gratefully, "Thank you, little brother Mo, for your pointers. In the future, please come to my chess hall more often." Come to the chess hall more often? Were they looking for trouble? Seeing Sun Tianji's actions, everyone was speechless again. After thanking Mo Qingyun, Sun Tianji's expression turned solemn as he said to Know-It-All, "Know-It-All, quickly thank little brother Mo for your pointers." Others might not have seen the value of Mo Qingyun's move, but how could Sun Tianji not see it? In his opinion, if Mo Qingyun could give them pointers and let them learn 1 or 2 killing moves, the strength of the chess hall would immediately rise by several levels. Know-It-All was an intelligent person. When he heard Sun Tianji's words, he immediately understood the meaning behind Sun Tianji's words. With Mo Qingyun's superb chess skills, being able to play chess with Mo Qingyun was a rare opportunity. Many people dreamed of it but couldn't get it. Furthermore, Mo Qingyun clearly could have used other methods to battle, but in the end, he chose to play chess with Know-It-All. This was Mo Qingyun's respect for Know-It-All. However, before this, Know-It-All had misinterpreted it as humiliation. From the looks of it, the gap between him and Mo Qingyun was simply too great. This was not only reflected in their strength, but the gap in their mental states was even greater. Know-It-All immediately set aside his pride and looked at Mo Qingyun with gratitude. He said wholeheartedly, "I accept my defeat wholeheartedly. Thank you for your pointers today." Chapter 438. The person who defeated you is from the Carefree Pavilion. As soon as Mo Qingyun finished speaking, everyone's expression changed. They immediately understood what Mo Qingyun was thinking. He was telling everyone that he was from the Carefree Pavilion and that he was proud of his identity as a member of the Carefree Pavilion. At this moment, while everyone was shocked by Mo Qingyun's actions, the results of the Human Division's battle were announced. Lu Fangliang from the Carefree Pavilion. "Thank you for letting me win." After defeating his opponent, Lu Fangliang revealed a cold expression and said arrogantly to his opponent. Lu Fangliang's expression also revealed a sense of pride. He was also proud of his identity as a member of the Carefree Pavilion. Hearing Lu Fangliang's words, everyone's expression changed. They looked at Lu Fangliang in shock. This cold youth was the same as Mo Qingyun. He was also from the Carefree Pavilion. He was the same as Mo Qingyun. They were both proud youths. He was also fighting for the honor of the Carefree Pavilion. Seeing Mo Qingyun and Lu Fangliang's actions, Yi Wuyo's eyes turned red. She revealed a touched and emotional expression. At this moment, Mo Qingyun and the others were fighting for the honor of the Carefree Pavilion. "Thank you, everyone." Yi Wuyo was touched. She was silently grateful to Mo Qingyun and the others. At this moment, Yi Wuyo was thinking that no matter what the results of the Academy tournament were, she had no regrets having such a group of friends. Subsequently, Mo Qingyun and Lu Fangliang returned to the cloud platforms of the various sub-halls under the watchful eyes of the crowd. After Mo Qingyun and the others left the battle platform, on each battle platform, the third battle began. Students walked onto the battle platform one by one. Wang Zishu from the Carefree Pavilion. "Please guide me, senior sister." At this moment, on the Human Division's battle platform, a quiet girl in green cupped her hands towards her opponent with a proud expression. This girl in green was none other than Wang Zishu from the Pill Hall. Hearing Wang Zishu's words, everyone's expression immediately changed, revealing some anticipation. This young girl with a tranquil appearance was also from Carefree Pavilion. She was also fighting for the honor of Carefree Pavilion. Would she be able to defeat her opponent like Mo Qingyun and Mo Qingyun and bring glory to Carefree Pavilion? At this moment, Wang Zishu, who was in the Human Year battle ring, made her move. Divine Wood, Shady Palm. Wang Zishu blasted out a palm, and a dark green yuan power emerged from her hand. Once this jade-green elemental energy was unleashed, it transformed into a dreamy and illusory palm shadow that suppressed her opponent, Hugo. At this moment, when the palm shadow pressed down, the human battle platform immediately became a scene of lush greenery. Along with this scene of lush greenery, Hugo, who was immersed in it, immediately lost her sense of direction. Sunset Rain Palm. After a short moment of absent-mindedness, Hugo returned to her senses. She immediately raised her hand and blasted out a palm, as though she wanted to break Wang Zishu's palm. A shocking yuan power gushed out from Hugo's palm, transforming into a sunset glow and droplets of rain that dripped onto the greenery around her. Facing this rain, although the greenery around her was slightly damaged, it quickly grew back and filled the gap. Seeing this, Hugo's expression immediately changed, and she revealed a look of panic. Her full-powered palm strike was actually unable to shake Wang Zishu's palm at all. If this was the case, how could she compete? Admit defeat. You can't break my divine with shady palm, Wang Zishu said with a firm tone. Hearing Wang Zishu's words, Hugo's charming face turned stern once again, revealing an unyielding expression. She was unwilling to admit defeat. Following this, Hugo tried again and again, trying to break Wang Zishu's divine with shady palm. However, the result was the same. No matter how she attacked, she was unable to shake the greenery around her. After a while, Hugo's face revealed an unwilling expression, and she took the initiative to admit defeat. Since Hugo had taken the initiative to admit defeat, it meant that Wang Zishu had successfully advanced to the next round. She had also added glory to Carefree Pavilion. Seeing that Wang Zishu had successfully advanced to the next round, everyone's expressions changed immediately, and they couldn't help but sigh in their hearts. These little fellows are all very proud. I wonder how far they will go in the next round. Seeing the results of Mo Qingyun and the rest, Yi Jingtian revealed a faint smile. He was looking forward to the next performance of Mo Qingyun and the rest. If nothing goes wrong, Lu Fangliang and the rest should be able to make it into the top 50. As for the battle between Mo Qingyun and Lung Chong, it should be a 50-50 chance, Yi Jinglei said with a faint smile. At this moment, while Yi Jingtian and Yi Jingtian were talking, the others at the side were also whispering to each other. Following this, Ling Luo and Ruo Shui carried out their own battles under the watchful eyes of the crowd. They also advanced to the next round easily. After Ling Luo and Ruo Shui advanced to the next round, everyone in Carefree Pavilion, except for Yi Wuyo, advanced to the next round. Seeing such a result, the crowd was shocked once again. It seems like the members of Carefree Pavilion have all advanced to the next round. It seems like their talents aren't weak. Of course, they all have grade 12 martial souls. They are the geniuses among the geniuses in Dine Province. If Princess Weo hadn't met Lung Hui in the first round, she would definitely have advanced to the next round. I'm looking forward to seeing what Carefree Pavilion will be like when these juniors have all grown up. At this moment, the crowd was whispering to each other. In the north of the spectator stands, the old man walked to the front again and said in a clear voice, "In the previous round of one-on-one eliminations, 150 people advanced to the next round. Next, we will draw lots to determine your opponents." After the old man finished speaking, Mo Qingyun and the rest didn't hesitate any longer. They all stood up and walked toward the drawing table. Mo Qingyun, don't be so proud. If you meet me, I will immediately eliminate you. On the drawing table, Lung Chong's face was cold as he spoke to Mo Qingyun. Is that so? Hearing Lung Chong's words, Mo Qingyun revealed a cold smile and replied, "I really want to see how you will defeat me when you meet me later. However, you better not be eliminated before you meet me." What a joke. I will be eliminated? Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Lung Chong's face instantly darkened. He said coldly, "If that's the case, I will speed up the competition." After Lung Chong finished speaking, His face revealed an arrogant expression. He looked at Huang Zhongyue and said, "Dean, these rounds of battles are too troublesome. I have a request." "Request?" Hearing Lung Chong's words, Huang Zhongyue revealed a curious expression and asked, "Tell me, what request do you have? Other than Mo Qingyun, I want to challenge everyone else in the Earth Grade tournament." After Huang Zhongyue's words, Lung Chong revealed a cold and arrogant expression as he said these arrogant words. Lung Chong wants to challenge everyone else in the Earth Grade tournament. Hearing Lung Chong's words, everyone's expression changed. They couldn't believe their ears. Chapter 439. Did I hear wrongly? Lung Chong wants to challenge the 148 students in the Earth Grade battle, excluding Mo Qingyun. Lung Chong is so arrogant. Is he doing this because he wants to fight Mo Qingyun as soon as possible? He wants to fight all 148 students by himself. Isn't he a little too arrogant? In an instant, all sorts of shocking words came out from the mouths of the crowd. He wants to challenge all the students other than me. Hearing Lung Chong's words, Mo Qingyun was also shocked. He was a little surprised by Lung Chong's current actions. After a short moment of shock, Mo Qingyun revealed a faint smile and said to himself, "This is good too. If Lung Chong defeats the others, then I only need to defeat Lung Chong, and I could take first place in the Earth Year competition. This will save me some trouble." He wants to challenge all 148 students by himself? Hearing Lung Chong's words, Huang Zhongyue's face was filled with shock. This was the first time he had encountered such a situation. After a short moment of shock, Huang Zhongyue's face became solemn. He looked at Lung Chong and said solemnly, "Lung Chong, you want to challenge all 148 students. If you're defeated by them, then you will be eliminated. Are you sure you have thought this through?" At this moment, when Huang Zhongyue said these words, his eyes flashed with anticipation. He really wanted to see if Lung Chong could really do it by challenging all 148 students. Reporting to the principal, "I have already thought it through," Lung Chong said with a serious face. Hearing Lung Chong's words, Huang Zhongyue nodded indifferently. He looked at the other 148 students and said, "Lung Chong wants to challenge all 148 of you. Can you accept his challenge?" Hearing Huang Zhongyue's words, the 148 students all revealed expressions of anger. "We will fight with Lung Chong. He is too arrogant. He wants to fight all 148 of us by himself. If we don't fight, then we are cowards. We have so many people. Do we have to be afraid of him? That's right. If we don't dare to accept his challenge, how can we survive in the Hidden Dragon Institute in the future? Fight, fight, fight." All of a sudden, the 118 students were enraged and decided to fight Lung Chong. "Since both of you have agreed, I will agree to your request." Seeing the attitude of both parties, Yi Jingtian didn't say anything more. He silently agreed to Lung Chong's request. Immediately after, Lung Chong and the others walked towards the Earth Grade battle stage, preparing for the battle. While everyone was heading to the Earth Division's battle stage, Mo Qingyun returned to the Wind Hall's cloud platform with a faint smile, waiting for the results of Lung Chong and the others' battles. On the Earth Tournament stage, "Lung Chong, we admit that you're powerful. However, if you want to fight all of us by yourself, you're dreaming. Lung Chong, you asked for it. Since that's the case, we'll eliminate you first." Looking at Lung Chong on the battle stage, each of the 48 students sneered and said something complacent. In their opinion, since they had defeated Lung Chong together, they still had a chance to fight for first place in the Earth Grade battle. "A bunch of idiots want to fight me," Lung Chong said coldly with disdain when he saw the reactions of the students in front of him. As soon as Lung Chong finished speaking, he didn't hesitate anymore. He immediately went through the soul change and entered the half-soul change state. Venomous Shadow, Azura. After completing the soul change, Lung Chong attacked the students aggressively. He directly struck out with his palm. Under Lung Chong's palm, the sky suddenly changed color. The entire battle stage was covered by a layer of purple mist. Roar! As the purple mist covered the battle stage, a ferocious figure appeared and attacked the other students crazily. Bang, bang, bang. Faced with the ferocious figure's attacks, the other students were instantly injured and sent flying out of the battle stage like sheep. Under the ferocious figure's attacks, the students who were sent flying out of the battle stage had horrible wounds on their bodies. It was as if they had been corroded by a strong poison. Seeing this, the remaining students panicked. They looked at Lung Chong with fear in their eyes. Lung Chong was too powerful. His combat strength had far exceeded their expectations. How is this possible? How can Lung Chong be so powerful? Is he really only at the peak of Yuan Dance Stage 6? They are all students participating in the Earth grade battle. Why is there such a big difference? I admit defeat. I don't want to fight anymore. Lung Chong is too scary. Seeing people being seriously injured or crippled under Lung Chong's attacks, the remaining students on the battle stage panicked and jumped out of the battle stage one after another. Seeing this, the crowd's expression became complicated. They couldn't help but sigh in their hearts. Originally, they thought that even if Lung Chong wanted to win, he would have to fight hard. But now, facing Lung Chong's attacks, these students didn't have the slightest ability to resist. Their confidence was instantly shattered. The gap between them was too big. Just like this, about half an hour later, on the Earth grade platform, other than Lung Chong who stood there arrogantly, there were no other students. They were all seriously injured, sent flying out of the battle stage, or scared to the point of surrendering under Lung Chong's attacks. Following the departure of the students from the battle stage, this meant that Lung Chong had succeeded in his challenge, defeating 148 students by himself. Seeing that his challenge was successful, Lung Chong smiled coldly. Looking at Mo Qingyun, he said, Mo Qingyun, it's your turn now. Today, I will avenge my previous humiliation and let everyone know that I am the true king of this year's grand examination. Mo Qingyun didn't take Lung Chong's words to heart. With a smile on his face, he walked onto the battle stage. Arriving on the battle stage, Mo Qingyun sized up Lung Chong and smiled. Don't talk nonsense. Hurry up and recover. I don't want others to say that I took advantage of someone's precarious situation. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Lung Chong's expression froze. He wanted to retort, but couldn't find the words. Mo Qingyun's words weren't false. Even though he had forcefully defeated 148 students, the Yuan power in his body had been greatly depleted. Glaring angrily at Mo Qingyun, Lung Chong no longer hesitated. He sat down and began to recover his depleted Yuan power. However, what Lung Chong didn't expect was that at this moment, just as he was about to sit down and recover his depleted Yuan power, Mo Qingyun took out a medicinal pill and tossed it over to him as he said coolly, "Your recovery is too slow like this. Swallow this Essence Yang Recovery Spirit Pill. It can accelerate your Essence Energy recovery speed." You're giving me a pill to recover my Yuan power? Seeing the red pill that Mo Qingyun tossed over, Lung Chong's expression changed slightly, revealing a look of surprise as he questioned, "You would be so kind? Could it be that there's something fishy about this pill?" Seeing Lung Chong's reaction, Mo Qingyun immediately revealed a look of disdain, mocking, "And here I was wondering how capable you were. After all this time, it turns out that you don't even dare to eat a pill." Chapter 440. Mo Qingyun swallowed the elixir. Everyone was stunned when they saw Mo Qingyun's action. They were surprised by Mo Qingyun's action. From the looks of it, the medicinal pill that Mo Qingyun had taken out earlier wasn't poison, but a true medicinal pill that could restore origin energy. Lung Chong's action seemed to be gauging the heart of a gentleman with his own yardstick. After swallowing the elixir, Mo Qingyun didn't say anything else. He sat down cross-legged and urged Lung Chong impatiently, "Quickly recover your origin energy. Don't waste everyone's time." Oomph. Lung Chong let out a muffled groan when he heard this, and then he glared angrily at Mo Qingyun before paying no further attention to Mo Qingyun as he started to regulate his breathing and recover the origin energy he'd consumed earlier. Everyone waited for Lung Chong to recover his origin energy so that he could fight with Mo Qingyun. While Lung Chong was recovering essence energy, the students on the Heaven Cadet Battle Platform and Human Cadet Battle Platform were already in full swing. When the battle between the Heaven and Human tournament began, a portion of the audience gradually shifted their attention to the two tournament stages. At this moment, everyone was focused on the battle between the Heaven and Human tournament stages. Huff, 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 one after another, astonishing auras flew towards the central plaza and arrived at the northern side of the spectator stands. Everyone in the spectator stands was shocked when they saw the arrival of these people. They unconsciously stood up from their seats. They are from the Soaring Dragon Academy. Why are they here at the Hidden Dragon Academy, making a fuss over nothing? How can you be surprised by such a small matter? Every Hidden Dragon Academy tournament, the Soaring Dragon Academy's dean and some hall masters will come to watch the tournament. After the students of the Hidden Dragon Academy graduate, they will enter the Soaring Dragon Academy to cultivate. The hall masters of the Soaring Dragon Academy are here to watch the tournament to discover some outstanding students. So it's like this. This time, there's actually a student from the Soaring Dragon Academy among the people who came. That gray-haired youth seems to be the #1 genius of the Soaring Dragon Academy, Lung Yufeng. Seeing the arrival of the people from the Soaring Dragon Academy, for a moment, the expressions of the people in the audience seat changed slightly, and they started whispering to each other in private. Soaring Dragon Academy's people? At this moment, Mo Qingyun was the same as the others. He revealed an interested expression as he sized up those people from the Soaring Dragon Academy. After sizing them up, Mo Qingyun had a rough understanding of the Soaring Dragon Academy's strength. Judging from the strength of these people, the Palace Masters and Elders of the Soaring Dragon Academy were a level higher than the Palace Masters and Elders of the Hidden Dragon Academy. Lung Yufeng, the #1 genius of the Lung family's younger generation, the founder of Yufeng Hall. Seeing the gray-haired youth behind the Elders of the Soaring Dragon Academy, Mo Qingyun slightly frowned. Revealing a bewildered expression, he said, Lung Yufeng's physique seems to be. After a brief moment of bewilderment, Mo Qingyun's expression was slightly startled. He thought to himself, I didn't expect that Lung Yufeng's physique is actually the Jade Peak spiritual physique of the 3,000 physiques. With such a physique, his title as the #1 genius of the Soaring Dragon Academy is well-deserved. Senior Brother Boy, you came late this time and missed a rather interesting scene. Seeing the arrival of the people from the Soaring Dragon Academy, Huang Zhongyue revealed a faint smile and greeted them. The Heaven Session's single challenge hasn't ended yet. We didn't come too late. Glancing at the situation on the Heaven Session's battle stage, Yin Boyi revealed a faint smile and replied to Huang Zhongyue. Immediately after, the people from the Soaring Dragon Academy sat down beside Huang Zhongyue and watched the performance of the students on the battle stage. At this moment, when Yin Boyi and the others sat down, Lung Yufeng revealed a cold expression and swept a glance at Mo Qingyun on the Earth Session's battle stage. Yuan Dan's cultivation is at the 4th layer. Sensing Mo Qingyun's cultivation, Lung Yufeng revealed a disdainful expression and no longer paid any attention to Mo Qingyun. As far as he was concerned, a brat at the 4th level of Yuan Dan couldn't pose any threat to Lung Chong, let alone enter his eyes. Subsequently, Lung Chong continued to regulate his breathing and recover his essence force. Thus, the attention of everyone from the Soaring Dragon Academy shifted to the battle stage of the Heaven class and Mortal class. However, not long after, the attention of everyone from the Soaring Dragon Academy shifted to the Human Year battle stage. This was because the current situation on the human stage had surprised them. In the 7th round, after Long Yutian defeated his opponent, he said proudly, Long Yutian of Carefree Pavilion, thank you for letting me win. In the 11th round, after Ruo Shui defeated her opponent, she said proudly, Ruo Shui of the Carefree Pavilion admits it. In the 16th match, after Lu Fangliang defeated his opponent, he said proudly, Carefree Pavilion's Lu Fangliang admits it. In the 23rd match, after Ling Luo defeated his opponent, he said proudly. Ling Luo of the Carefree Pavilion admits it. In the 29th match, after Wang Zishu defeated her opponent, she said proudly. Wang Zishu of the Carefree Pavilion admits it. Every time Long Yutian and the others defeated their opponents, they would say something proud. They were proud that they were members of the Carefree Pavilion. This scene surprised Yun Boyi and the others. They hadn't expected this at all. These outstanding students were actually from the student club called Carefree Pavilion. In Dian Province, the management of students was open. Therefore, some students with outstanding strength would establish their own clubs. However, what surprised Yun Boyi and the others was that they didn't have any impression of a club called Carefree Pavilion. Junior Zhongyue, this Carefree Pavilion is? Yin Boyi was puzzled. He turned his head to look at Huang Zhongyue, hoping that Huang Zhongyue would explain. Looking at Yun Boyi's expression, Huang Zhongyue chuckled and said, Senior Zhongyue, this Carefree Pavilion is a student club that Princess Wu Yu established unintentionally. Princess Wu Yu established it? Yin Boyi was shocked when he heard this. This result really surprised him. If it was really established unintentionally by Yi Wuyo, then Yi Wuyo's eyes were really sharp. The members he recruited were all astonishingly talented. At this moment, while everyone was talking about Carefree Pavilion, on the Earth semester stage, Lung Chong, who had been recuperating, stood up with a cold expression. After several hours of recovery, the elemental energy that he had expended during the battle had finally recovered to its peak. You recovered? Seeing Lung Chong stand up, Mo Qingyun revealed an indifferent expression. He smiled faintly and said, If you haven't recovered, don't try to be brave. I can let you continue to recover. I'm not in a hurry. Mo Qingyun, you don't need to think about stalling for time. I can't wait to take care of you. Lung Chong smiled darkly, a chill emanating from his body. He looked at Mo Qingyun and said, Mo Qingyun, I will now show you my progress in the past half year. I want everyone to know that I am the true king of this year's grand examination. You? Ha! After hearing this, Mo Qingyun smiled indifferently and shook his head, not bothering to argue with Lung Chong. However, the mockery in his actions was even more intense than arguing. You're courting death. Chapter 441. As soon as Lung Chong made his move, he summoned his martial spirit without hesitation and entered the half-soul transformation state. Roar! A dragon's roar came from above Lung Chong, emitting a terrifying dragon's aura. Seeing the huge purple silhouette in the sky above Lung Chong, the expression of everyone from the Soaring Dragon Academy changed. High-grade 13 venomous shadow dragon martial soul. This little guy's talent is not bad. Yun Boyi was shocked when he saw Lung Chong's martial soul. He praised Lung Chong and nodded. It seemed like he recognized Lung Chong's talent. Lung Yufeng smiled when he saw Yun Boyi's expression. He whispered in his ear, Master, this is my younger cousin, Lung Chong. Oh. Yun Boyi was surprised when he heard Lung Yufeng's words. He was surprised by the relationship between Lung Chong and Lung Yufeng. Then, Yun Boyi revealed a faint smile and sighed with envy. Your Lung clan sure is lucky. There are so many talented people in the younger generation. Master, you're flattering me. Lung Yufeng said indifferently, speaking humble words. Roar! While Yun Boyi and Lung Yufeng were talking, another dragon's roar came from the Earth Tournament stage. Yun Boyi and the others felt a purer and more shocking dragon's aura coming from the Earth Tournament stage. This is the top grade 13 Scarlet Heavenly Dragon Martial Soul. Yun Boyi's eyes widened when he saw the scarlet figure above the Earth Tournament stage. He stood up from his seat. The top grade 13 Scarlet Heavenly Dragon Martial Soul was even more powerful than Lung Chong's Martial Soul. However, before Yun Boyi and the others could recover from the shock of Mo Qingyun's Martial Soul, the astonishment on their faces became even more pronounced. Complete Wind Profound Meaning. He's only at the 4th level of the Yuan Dan stage, but he's already comprehended Wind Profound Meaning. Sensing Mo Qingyun's profundity, Yunboi was so shocked that he shook his head repeatedly. He couldn't believe this was real. What? What's this little guy called? After a brief moment of shock, Yunboi became excited and looked at Huang Zhongyue with an anxious expression. He really didn't expect that such a monstrous genius would appear in this year's Hidden Dragon Institute tournament. At this moment, it wasn't just Yunboi and the others who were like this. Some of the Hidden Dragon Institute's hall masters and elders were also shocked when they saw this scene. Mo Qingyun, who was only Yuan Dan Stage 4, had actually comprehended the profound meaning to the perfection stage. This kind of comprehension ability was too amazing. Senior brother boy, his name is Mo Qingyun. Seeing Yunboi's expression, Huang Zhongyue bitterly smiled and replied to Yunboi, Mo Qing. After learning Mo Qingyun's name, Yunboi began to recite it. However, before he could finish his sentence, he froze on the spot. Fire profound to the perfection stage. Mo Qingyun didn't just comprehend one profound meaning to perfection. He actually comprehended two. A fourth-level Yuan Dan cultivator who had comprehended two types of grand completion profound force. This was simply too shocking. Two profound meanings to perfection, and he's only at stage 4 Yuan Dan. At this moment, Yunboi felt that his brain wasn't enough to process this. This was the first time he had encountered such a situation. However, before Yunboi could react, his heart trembled again. He was so excited that his entire body trembled. Profound of Earth, great perfection of profound of Earth. 3 profound meanings to perfection. Mo Qingyun had not only comprehended 2 types of perfection, but 3. After realizing this, Yunboi immediately became excited. He looked at Huang Zhongyue and said excitedly, Junior brother Zhongyue, is this true? Mo Qingyun, who's only at stage 4 Yuan Dan, comprehended 3 profound meanings to perfection? Senior brother. Upon hearing Yunboi's words, Huang Zhongyue smiled wryly. His heart was filled with shock. To be honest, this scene had completely exceeded his expectations. Then, Huang Zhongyue smiled wryly and looked at Lin Tang excitedly. It seemed like he wanted to get an answer from Lin Tang. After all, Lin Tang was Mo Qingyun's master. Palace Master Lin Tang. When did Mo Qingyun comprehend 3 profound meanings to perfection? Huang Zhongyue asked excitedly. Dean, I don't know either. Upon hearing Huang Zhongyue's words, Lin Tang smiled wryly and replied to Huang Zhongyue. After replying to Huang Zhongyue, Lin Tang pretended to be displeased and said, Humph, this stinking brat comprehended 3 profound meanings to perfection, and he didn't even tell me. After the academy tournament ends, I'll definitely give him a good spanking. When Lin Tang said this, the surrounding people were dumbfounded. They didn't know how to express their thoughts. However, before they could recover from Lin Tang's words, they sensed a terrifying aura coming from Huang Zhongyue's side. The person who emitted this aura was the Soaring Dragon Academy's dean, Yunboi. Oomph. Even if you're Mo Qingyun's master, you can't spank him. Yunboi's face was filled with anger. He glared at Lin Tang and said, If you dare to spank Mo Qingyun's little butt, I'll strip you of your pants and spank your old butt. Strip you of your pants and spank your old butt. Upon hearing Yunboi's words, the surrounding people coughed lightly. Everyone looked at Yunboi with a strange expression. Yunboi's taste was really heavy. Was this guy really the Soaring Dragon Academy's dean? Just when everyone was speechless by Yunboi's words, Yunboi's voice rang out. On the human-grade platform, Mo Qingyun's aura rose and reached the 5th level of the Yuan Dan stage. 5th level of the Yuan Dan stage. This kid's cultivation is at the 5th level of the Yuan Dan stage. Sensing the change in Mo Qingyun's aura, Lin Tang's expression changed greatly. Shock appeared on his face. It turned out that in the past 8 months, Mo Qingyun's cultivation hadn't only increased by 2 levels, but had instead increased by 3 whole levels. In 8 months, his cultivation had increased by 3 levels. What kind of cultivation speed was this? At this moment, Lin Tang's heart was in a daze. Fifth level of the Yuan dance stage. When the others sensed Mo Qingyun's cultivation, they were similarly shocked. Their hearts were unable to calm down for a long time. From the grand examination until now, in a mere year's time, Mo Qingyun's cultivation had gone from the 9th level of the true origin stage to the 5th level of the Yuan dance stage. In a year's time, he had broken through 6 levels. This cultivation speed was too frightening. More importantly, not only did Mo Qingyun possess a frightening cultivation speed, he also possessed an abnormal level of comprehension. Was he still human? Who would have thought that this little kid actually had a hidden trump card? Seeing Mo Qingyun's current performance, Yun Boi smiled faintly and praised Mo Qingyun. Because Yun Boi didn't know that Mo Qingyun's cultivation hadn't even reached the Yuan dance stage a year ago, his expression didn't change much. Seeing Yun Boi's expression, Huang Zhongyue smiled bitterly. He knew that Yun Boi had overlooked a few details. Chapter 442. What's his cultivation level? Yun Boi's expression changed slightly. He looked at Huang Zhongyue curiously and asked him a question. True Energy Stage 9, not yet Yuan dance stage. Huang Zhongyue said in a low voice. What? True Energy Stage 9? Hearing Huang Zhongyue's words, Yun Boi was shocked. He looked at Huang Zhongyue in disbelief, not daring to believe it. In 1 year, his cultivation level had crossed 6 stages. Didn't this mean that Mo Qingyun had broken through 1 stage in just over a month? What kind of cultivation speed was this? At this moment, Yun Boi suddenly felt that his brain wasn't working properly. In his opinion, even in the body tempering stage, breaking through 1 stage in a month was pretty good. But Mo Qingyun was still able to maintain this speed when he was in the Yuan dance stage. This was a little scary. At this moment, he finally understood why Huang Zhongyue and the others were so shocked when they saw Mo Qingyun's cultivation level. While everyone was still in shock, on the Earth tournament stage, Roba Heaven's poison palm, Lung Chong's face was filled with madness. He leaped up and arrived above Mo Qingyun, slamming his palm down on Mo Qingyun. At this moment, waves of purple origin energy frantically gathered towards Lung Chong, forming a huge purple poison palm. Chi chi chi. As the purple poison palm approached, some of the bloodstains on the Earth tournament stage instantly turned into a black mist. Mo Qingyun, you forced my hand. Lung Chong's expression was ferocious as he slammed his palm down on Mo Qingyun. Seeing the huge purple palm heading towards Mo Qingyun, the surrounding people's expressions changed. They were worried for Mo Qingyun. This is Roba Heaven's poison palm, Poison Demon King's strongest move. I didn't expect Lung Chong to use it. No, Lung Chong hasn't fully mastered it yet. He's only using it by force. I'm afraid he'll suffer a lot from the backlash. If that's the case, I'm afraid this battle will end with both sides suffering. I didn't expect it to end like this. Everyone's expression was tense as they sighed in their hearts. Mo Qingyun and Lung Chong were both super geniuses of the academy. It would be a pity if both of them ended up seriously injured because of this. Seeing Lung Chong's action, Mo Qingyun's face turned cold. He said coldly, "Since you want to die, I'll fulfill your wish." That's not how you use the little drug lord's technique. As soon as Mo Qingyun finished speaking, he did not waste any more words with Lung Chong. His hands quickly formed a seal, and a shocking flame blasted out. Immediately after, Mo Qingyun's hands quickly formed a series of strange seals that shot towards the flame in front of him. When these imprints entered the flame instantly turned into a flaming demonic beast, emitting waves of ferocious aura. Divine Beast Cauldron Hand. Seeing Mo Qingyun's action, the expressions of the Pill Hall's Hall Master and elders changed. They were confused. Mo Qingyun, what is he doing? Could it be that he wants to concoct pills at this time? At this moment, the surrounding people were the same as the people from the Pill Hall. Their hearts were filled with confusion and doubt. Swallow. Mo Qingyun raised his hand and pointed. The flaming demonic beast rushed towards the purple poisonous palm. It opened its mouth and swallowed the purple poisonous palm. Concoct. Seeing that the purple poisonous palm was swallowed by the flaming demonic beast, Emo Qingyun's hands quickly formed a seal again. He struck a series of seals into the flaming demonic beast's body. When they saw Emo Qingyun's actions, the puzzlement in everyone's hearts immediately grew stronger. Seeing Emo Qingyun's action, could it be that he wanted to concoct Lung Chong's palm? Using the art of concoction to concoct the opponent's martial arts attack? Was there such a way to fight? At this moment, Emo Qingyun's action instantly broke everyone's understanding. It made them feel that it was inconceivable and whimsical. Idiot, you actually want to concoct my Heaven Robo poisonous palm? You're really whimsical. Could it be that you're planning to concoct my Heaven Robo poisonous palm into a pill? Seeing Emo Qingyun's action, Lung Chong's face was filled with ridicule. He said casually, Emo Qingyun, it seems like you're also at the end of your rope. You even used such an idiotic move. Idiotic move? Emo Qingyun smiled playfully. His hands didn't slow down at all. He took out medicinal ingredients one after another and threw them at the flaming demonic beast. He said, now watch carefully. Blazing golden mysterious branch, violent spiritual beast blood fruit, violent dragon tiger blood essence, earth flame spiritual grass. Seeing the medicinal ingredients that Emo Qingyun threw out, the expressions of the pill hall master and elders changed again. They said in shock, these are all medicinal ingredients with violent medicinal effects. The probability of these medicinal ingredients exploding is extremely high. If they're concocted together, it's impossible to concoct a pill. What is Emo Qingyun planning to do? Carp leaping over Dragon Gay Hand. Under Emo Qingyun's control, these medicinal ingredients were like carps. They jumped into the flaming cauldron one after another. Wild Lion Roaring Sky Hand. Dragon and Tiger Helping Hands. Emo Qingyun kept changing his concoction technique as he poured the medicinal ingredients into the Divine Beast Cauldron. Every time he poured in some Yuan power, the Yuan power in the Divine Beast Cauldron would become more violent. Seeing the Yuan power in the Divine Beast Cauldron becoming more and more violent, the smile on Emo Qingyun's face became wider. Immediately, Emo Qingyun revealed a bright smile. He looked at Lung Chong and said, watch carefully. Watch how I use concoction to dissolve your Heaven Robo Heaven Palm. Go! After Emo Qingyun said that, he didn't hesitate any longer. He raised his hand and slammed the Divine Beast Cauldron towards Lung Chong. Then, the Divine Beast Cauldron flew towards Lung Chong at an extremely fast speed like a meteor. When the Divine Beast Cauldron flew towards Lung Chong, the Yuan power in it became even more violent, as if it was going to explode at any time. Seeing Emo Qingyun's action, everyone instantly understood Emo Qingyun's intention. He was planning to use the exploding pill to turn Lung Chong's poisonous palm into his own. Moreover, he was planning to increase the power of his palm and give it to Lung Chong. This kind of action was truly unheard of and unheard of. So that's what he was thinking. The pill hall masters and elders were shocked and in disbelief. They said excitedly, he's able to concoct such pills at such a young age. He's a genius, a genius. Yeah. Even if I were to do it, I wouldn't be able to do what he did, sighed an elder of the pill hall. Concocting pills can also be used to fight. You've really broadened my horizons. Bold idea, superb concoction technique. Emo Qingyun is indeed a rare genius. Concocting pills can also be used to fight. Emo Qingyun, you're my idol. I want to learn from you. Looking at this amazing scene, the students were all shocked. They couldn't calm down for a long time. Bang! A loud sound was heard. A violent Yuan power flame instantly exploded in midair and swept towards the surroundings. Under the sweeping of this violent origin energy, Lung Chong, who bore the brunt of it, was instantly swallowed up, and he emitted a series of shrill cries. Seeing Lung Chong being engulfed by the Yuan power flame, everyone from the Lung family immediately moved and rushed towards Lung Chong. However, when Lung Chong saved him, he was already half dead. There wasn't a single part of his body that wasn't injured. Chapter 443. Seeing Lung Chong's appearance, Lung Wuya's expression became serious. He started to check Lung Chong's condition. After a while, Lung Wuya's expression twitched. His face became extremely gloomy. Lung Chong's condition was much worse than he had imagined. Not to mention cultivating, he might not even be able to get off the bed and walk. A genius junior of the Lung family was crippled just like that. Lung Wuya was furious. Mo Qingyun, how could you be so ruthless in the competition? Lung Wuya's expression was ferocious. He gritted his teeth and glared at Mo Qingyun. Did I? Hearing Lung Wuya's words, Mo Qingyun was confused. He pretended to be wronged and said, Lung family's head, you can't say things like that. Everyone here saw it. I only concocted a cauldron of pills for Lung Chong. There was just a slight mistake in the process. After saying that, Mo Qingyun shrugged and smiled at Lung Wuya. Only gave Lung Chong a cauldron of pills? Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, everyone's head buzzed. They felt that they couldn't think properly. Just now, was Mo Qingyun really concocting pills for Lung Chong? You sharp-tongued brat. Everyone saw what happened just now. Don't talk nonsense here. Hearing Mo Qingyun's reply, Lung Wuya was so angry that his body trembled. He said those words angrily. Mo Qingyun smiled brilliantly when he heard Lung Wuya. He looked at Huang Zhongyu and said, Dean, have you ever seen someone use alchemy to fight? Have you ever seen someone use alchemy to injure others? Hearing that, Huang Zhongyu's expression froze. He didn't expect Mo Qingyun to suddenly ask him. After being stunned for a short while, Huang Zhongyu's expression became serious. He said in a deep voice, I've never seen it before. Hearing Huang Zhongyu's reply, Mo Qingyun smiled with satisfaction. He turned to the people of the Pill Palace and asked, Seniors of the Pill Palace, can you use pills to attack others? Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, the people of the Pill Palace felt awkward. They didn't know how to answer Mo Qingyun's question. After a short moment of silence, the people of the Pill Palace blushed and said embarrassedly, We can't. As the Pill Palace's master and elders of the Pill Palace, they couldn't be compared to Mo Qingyun, a Yuan Dan realm student. Although they didn't want to admit it, they had to admit that they couldn't do it, and the seniors of the Pill Palace couldn't use, and the seniors of the Pill Palace cans, and the seniors of S. Are you ashamed? Everyone was stunned when they heard Mo Qingyun's words, and they felt speechless towards Mo Qingyun's answer. Was it really an accident? Does Mo Qingyun feel guilty? Of course not. After getting the answer, the way they looked at Mo Qingyun changed. This kid is so scheming. This time, the Lung family is done for. Yi Jingtian's expression changed slightly. A faint smile appeared on his face as he praised Mo Qingyun. He could tell that Mo Qingyun's actions just now had already been planned out in his heart. It seems like we've been used. This kid, hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Huang Zhongyue and the people of the Pill Palace laughed at themselves. They felt helpless about Mo Qingyun's actions. He's so scheming at such a young age. Junior Zhongyue, this kid isn't simple. Seeing Mo Qingyun's actions, Yun Boyi's expression changed. He valued Mo Qingyun even more, while everyone was sighing in their hearts. Hearing Mo Qingyun's reply, Lung Wuya's expression twitched. His face turned gloomy, and he said malevolently, Kid, you want to use accident to get away with this? There's no such thing in this world. As soon as Lung Wuya finished speaking, he released the chi of a cultivator of the third heavenly dipper layer and rushed towards Mo Qingyun. Kid, use your life to make up for your mistake. A violent surge of energy gathered on Lung Wuya's palm. It turned into a huge palm print and pressed down on Mo Qingyun. Stop. Lung family's head, you're too presumptuous. You're not allowed to hurt students in the Hidden Dragon Institute. Seeing Lung Wuya's attack, a few angry words came from the audience. Then, The crowd saw three figures rushing to block Mo Qingyun's path at high speed. Bang, bang, bang. A series of loud noises reverberated in midair, setting off an astonishing Yuanli storm. In an instant, it was stirred up in midair and swept out in all directions. Seeing the origin energy storm appear, the elders of the Hidden Dragon Institute all made their moves and suppressed the origin energy storm. Lung family's head, if you don't want me to chase you away, I don't want to see you fight anymore. After blocking Lung Wuya's attack, Huang Zhongyue looked furious and said something coldly to Lung Wuya. When Mo Qingyun entered the Hidden Dragon Institute, the long-browed eminent elder told him that as long as Mo Qingyun stood on the side of reason, no one was allowed to hurt him. Lung Wuya, you're really shameless. A Heaven Star Border Stage 3 actually dared to attack a Yuan Dance Stage Junior. Tang Zhan's face was filled with disdain as he mocked Lung Wuya. Then, he looked at the Lung family and laughed. I've been itching for a fight recently. Should I find some people to fight as well? Hearing Tang Zhan's words, the surrounding people were shocked. They were filled with respect towards Tang Zhan's words. With their understanding of Tang Zhan, since he said that there was a high chance that he would really do it. At this moment, when everyone was looking at Tang Zhan with respect, Yun Boyi's expression changed. He said to Tang Zhan, "Home Master Tang, can you give me some face and let this matter end here? Let the other students continue to fight." Hearing Yun Boyi's words, Tang Zhan turned to look at Mo Qingyun. It was as if he was asking for Mo Qingyun's opinion. Seeing Tang Zhan's actions, everyone's expression changed. They were shocked. The Hall Master of the Blood Refinement Hall, a Heaven Star Border Stage expert, was actually asking for Mo Qingyun's opinion. This scene was simply too unexpected and too shocking. Seeing Tang Zhan's gaze, Mo Qingyun nodded at him, indicating that he should accept Yun Boyi's suggestion. All right. Seeing Mo Qingyun nod, Tang Zhan replied to Yun Boyi. Then, he looked at Lung Wuya. Lung Wuya, if you dare to attack Mr. Mo again, I don't mind going to your Lung family. Speaking of which, I haven't sucked blood for many years. I really miss the taste of blood, especially the blood of beautiful girls. Hiss. Hearing Tang Zhan's words, everyone's expression changed. Their eyes were filled with respect. They clearly remembered that when Tang Zhan first came to Flame City, he was bloodthirsty. He was a blood-sucking demon and would often suck a living person dry. Chapter 444. Lung Wuya knew very well that it would be impossible for him to deal with Mo Qingyun today based on the current situation. Lung Wuya snorted and waved his sleeve, ordering people to carry Lung Chong away. At this moment, Lung Wuya's heart was filled with unwillingness. It wasn't easy for Qi Lian to not be by Mo Qingyun's side, so he could use this opportunity to eliminate Mo Qingyun. But in the end, however, Tang Zhan and the others had disrupted his plans. Lung Wuya was very unhappy with this outcome. In Lung Wuya's view, if he could use this opportunity to cripple Mo Qingyun by sacrificing Lung Chong, then it would be worth it. Right now, in Lung Wuya's eyes, Mo Qingyun was like a ferocious tiger that was gradually revealing its fangs and claws. It made him feel uneasy. If Mo Qingyun wasn't eliminated, then the Lung family wouldn't have peace. Thus, Mo Qingyun had to die. Seeing that everyone had returned to the spectator stands, Mo Qingyun didn't stay on the Earth Division stage and returned to the Wind Hall's cloud platform. When Mo Qingyun returned to the Wind Hall's cloud platform, he entered the first place on the Earth Division's leaderboard. First place, he really is first place. Seeing Mo Qingyun's ranking change, Lin Tang's face was filled with ecstasy. He did it, this kid really did it. First place in the Earth Division, haha. At this moment, Lin Tang's face was filled with excitement. He was pleasantly surprised by this result. Mo Qingyun had actually done it. Even if he couldn't participate in the Rookie King battle, it would be the same if he could win the Earth Division's Battle of the Year. Master, I'm going back to the clan. Seeing Yun Boyi return to the spectator stands, Lung Yufeng glanced at Mo Qingyun and asked Yun Boyi for instructions. And Yun Boyi nodded in agreement to Lung Yufeng's request. It was understandable that Lung Yufeng wanted to check on Lung Chong's injuries. Seeing that Yin Boyi also had his own request, Lung Yufeng no longer hesitated and quickly headed towards the Lung family. Patriarch, how are Lung Chong's injuries? Lung Yufeng asked Lung Wuya coldly when he arrived in front of Lung Wuya. It looks like Lung Chong will have to spend the rest of his life in bed. Lung Wuya's expression was dark as he gritted his teeth. Hearing Lung Wuya's answer, Lung Yufeng immediately frowned and looked at Mo Qingyan coldly. Lung Yufeng, Lung Wuya, and the others discussed how to deal with Mo Qingyan. At this time, after Mo Qingyan and Lung Chong's battle ended, the other Earth Batch students began to compete for the rankings. In addition, the year battle between the Human class and Heaven class was also in full swing. On the Human Year battle platform, Lu Fangliang and the others were still full of vigor, overcoming all difficulties along the way. Their rankings were constantly refreshed. In addition, in the Sky Grade battle, Lung Hui still showed off his ability. He swept all the way in his ranking soared. About 20 hours later, the results of the Heaven, Earth, and Human Year battle were finally out. What was surprising was that Lu Fangliang and the other 4 from Wuyo Pavilion were in the top 5 of the Human class battle. As for the arrogant Hun Qian, he was only in 6th place. This result made Lung Hui, who had planned to use Hun Qian's power to teach Lu Fangliang and the others a lesson, extremely unhappy. His plan had failed again. However, what made Lung Hui happy was that he had successfully won the first place of the Sky Grade battle. In other words, there was a 99% chance that he would be the first place of this year's Academy battle. Seeing that Lung Hui had won the first place of the Sky Grade battle, Yi Wuyo's face turned pale. Was she really going to marry Lung Hui? Seeing that he had won the first place of the Sky Grade battle, Lung Hui could not wait. He looked at Yi Jingtian in surprise and said, King Yin, according to the reward for the first place of the Academy battle, can I make a request of you now? Seeing Lung Hui's action, Yi Wuyo's face turned pale again. Her body trembled slightly, and her hands and feet turned cold. That's right. The person who won the first place of the Academy battle can indeed make a request of me. Hearing Lung Hui's words, Yi Jingtian nodded solemnly and said, What kind of request do you intend to make? In Yi Jingtian's opinion, with Lung Hui's strength, he was basically the first place of the Academy battle. After all, the only people who were qualified to challenge Lung Hui were the first place of the Earth Grade battle and the first place of the Human Grade battle. With the cultivation of the first place of the Earth Grade battle and the first place of the Human Grade battle, could he defeat Lung Hui and replace him as the first place of the Academy battle? The answer was obviously not possible. After all, the difference in cultivation was too big. Even the first place of the Earth Grade battle was at least 3 realms lower than Lung Hui. Therefore, Yi Jingtian did not feel that Lung Hui's words were inappropriate. Hearing Yi Jingtian's words, Lung Hui was pleasantly surprised. He said excitedly, I would like to ask King Yin to agree to my marriage with Wuyo. Agree to your marriage with Wuyo? Hearing Lung Hui's words, Yi Jingtian's expression changed slightly. He was surprised by Lung Hui's request. Immediately, Yi Jingtian was puzzled. He turned his head and looked at Yi Wuyo, hoping to get an answer from her. Father, please don't. When Yi Wuyo saw Yi Jingtian looking at him, he revealed a pleading expression and looked at Yi Jingtian with pleading eyes. Seeing Yi Wuyo's action, Yi Jingtian knew that Yi Wuyo was not interested in Lung Hui. He said with a troubled expression, Lung Hui, your request is really difficult for me. Why don't you change your request? This was related to Yi Wuyo's happiness. It was inevitable that Yi Jingtian would be selfish. Hearing Yi Jingtian's words, Lung Hui was slightly angered. He said with dissatisfaction, Thank you for your kindness, King Yin. However, Lung Hui only has one wish, which is to marry Wuyo. Please agree to my request. Seeing Lung Hui's determination, Yi Jingtian was troubled again. He was in a dilemma. To be honest, with Lung Hui's talent, he was indeed qualified to marry Yi Wuyo. However, judging from the current situation, Yi Wuyo was very repulsed by Lung Hui. As the saying goes, a forcibly picked melon is not sweet. If he forced Yi Wuyo to marry Leng Hui, he would be pushing his daughter into a fire pit. Yi Jingtian was not willing to see such an outcome. Leng Hui, you seem to be too impatient. At this moment, while Yi Jingtian was in a dilemma, Mo Qingyun looked at Leng Hui with a mocking smile and said, "You seem to have forgotten that there is a third round of challenge in the college tournament. The third round has not started yet. You are not the champion of the college tournament yet." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, the expressions of the people in the central square changed. They were surprised by Mo Qingyun's action. Judging from Mo Qingyun's words, it seemed like he still wanted to challenge Leng Hui for the title of the champion of the college tournament. Challenge! Leng Hui curled his lips and smiled. He looked at Mo Qingyun with disdain and said, "Mo Qingyun, do you think that you and Lu Fangliang have the ability to defeat me? How would I know if I don't try?" Chapter 445. How would he know if he didn't try? The moment Mo Qingyun said that, everyone was stunned. The shock on their faces deepened. It seemed that Mo Qingyun really intended to challenge Leng Hui. Mo Qingyun wants to challenge Leng Hui. Can he win? The chances of Mo Qingyun winning are very slim. After all, the difference in cultivation level between him and Leng Hui is 5 levels. That's right. A difference of 5 levels is not something that talent can make up for. Everyone whispered among themselves. Junior brother Qingyun, he wants to challenge Leng Hui. Is he trying to stop me from marrying Leng Hui? Yi Wuyo was touched. Her eyes reddened as she looked at Mo Qingyun. Junior brother Qingyun, you're not Leng Hui's match. I'll remember your kindness. Qingyun, don't be rash. It's not a joke to challenge someone who's 5 levels above you. Lin Tang reminded Mo Qingyun worriedly after hearing Yi Wuyo's words. In Lin Tang's opinion, it was already very surprising that Mo Qingyun could win first place in the Earth Cohort Year battle. To be honest, Lin Tang did not think that Mo Qingyun could defeat Leng Hui. After all, the difference in cultivation level between the two was too great. Leng Hui smirked when he saw Lin Tang and Yi Wuyo's actions. He looked at Mo Qingyun and said, "Mo Qingyun, did you see that? Even your master and Wuyo don't believe in you. Do you still think you can fight me? I already said that we'll know after we try. Don't you understand human language?" Mo Qingyun looked at Leng Hui with disdain. He pursed his lips in disdain. His expression was full of mockery. "Master, senior sister Wuyo, don't worry. I know what I'm doing. I'll be fine." Mo Qingyun smiled at Lin Tang and the rest, indicating that they did not need to worry about him. "All right, be careful." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Lin Tang did not say anything else. He only told Mo Qingyun to be careful. Raptor break. Mo Qingyun leaped up like an eagle and swooped down onto the Earth grade battle stage. "Since you want to die, I'll fulfill your wish." Seeing Mo Qingyun's actions, Leng Hui did not hesitate and quickly came to the Earth tournament stage. On the Earth tournament stage, Mo Qingyun, it seems like your confidence is off the charts because a bunch of trash failed to take care of you. Looking at Mo Qingyun in front of him, Leng Hui revealed a cold smile and said coldly, "This is good too. Let me deal with you personally." Ice and Fire Dragon Scale Lion appear. Leng Hui didn't show any mercy. He summoned his martial soul and entered the half-soul transformation state. The moment Leng Hui's martial soul appeared, it emitted 2 extreme powers, one hot and one cold. It gave people an unfathomable feeling. A mutated top-grade 12 Dragon Scale Lion martial soul. If that's the case, this martial soul is not weaker than some grade 13 martial souls. Seeing Leng Hui's martial soul, Mo Qingyun's expression changed. He frowned and said, "Generally, a mutated superb martial soul will have some special ability. I wonder what ability Leng Hui's martial soul has." Celestial Demon Dual Palm. Under Leng Hui's attack, 2 different types of Yuan Qi gathered crazily in his palms. They formed a Tai Chi pattern and blasted towards Mo Qingyun. At the same time, a powerful fire and water ultimacy, was emitted from the Tai Chi palm. This fire and water ultimacy was special. It seemed to be stronger than ordinary fire and water ultimacy. Scarlet Flame, Dragon Martial Soul, appear. Soul transformation. Facing Lung Hui's attack, Mo Qingyun did not dare to be careless. He also summoned his martial soul and entered the half-soul transformation state. Blood Qi Berserk. After entering the half-soul transformation state, Mo Qingyun immediately used his martial soul's ability to raise his cultivation. Then, Mo Qingyun's aura rose rapidly. Soon, it reached the 7th stage of Yuan Dan. 7th stage of Yuan Dan. Sensing the change in Mo Qingyun's aura, Yun Boi's expression changed. He said in shock, a martial soul's ability that can raise cultivation. This Mo Qingyun's martial soul's ability is very powerful. Sun Incinerating Mountain Splitting Saber. After using his martial soul's ability to raise his cultivation, Mo Qingyun did not hesitate. He immediately slashed at the Tai Chi palm. In an instant, a surge of violent Yuan Qi gathered on Mo Qingyun's saber and turned into a huge fire dragon saber light. When Mo Qingyun slashed out, he gave people a feeling that he was one with the heavens and earth. People couldn't help but revere him. This was saber force, the power of the heavens and earth. Sensing Mo Qingyun's saber force, Yun Boi's expression changed. He said in shock, Saber force. He actually comprehended saber force. How is this possible? Bang! When the Scarlet Fire Dragon saber light collided with the Tai Chi palm, a loud sound was heard and a shocking shockwave was created. However, what surprised Mo Qingyun was that the Fire Dragon saber light was instantly destroyed by the Tai Chi palm. The Fire Dragon saber light was destroyed. Seeing this scene, Mo Qingyun was shocked. He was very surprised by this result. Previously in the Black Ice Palace, Luo Weibai was also a half-step pill palace. However, his all-out attack was easily neutralized by Mo Qingyun. Now, Lung Hui, whose talent was not as good as Luo Weibai's, was actually unable to neutralize Mo Qingyun's attack. It had to be said that this scene gave Mo Qingyun a strange feeling. Seeing Mo Qingyun's surprised face, Lung Hui beamed a proud smile. Mo Qingyun, although my realm of power Upanishad isn't as high as yours, and I've only reached the 7th level, my water and fire power Upanishad have fused together. Thus, even if you have a perfect power Upanishad, you can't compare to my fire and water power Upanishad. Fused ultimacy? Hearing Lung Hui's words, Mo Qingyun's eyes lit up. He immediately understood something. Then, Mo Qingyun's face revealed a bright smile and said, "Thank you for your guidance. Since that's the case, I won't hold back." Won't hold back. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Lung Hui laughed disdainfully and mocked. Mo Qingyun, do you think that you can fuse ultimacy as well? At this moment, Lung Hui was only halfway through his sentence when he could not continue. This was because he saw a crimson blue sword light condensing in Mo Qingyun's hand. It emitted a terrifying fire and water ultimacy. Mo Qingyun really did it. He really fused the fire and water ultimacy. This result was too shocking for Lung Hui. It was too unbelievable. Mo Qingyun had only heard one sentence from him, and he had instantly understood. What kind of perception was this? At this moment, Lung Hui finally understood how terrifying Mo Qingyun's talent was. Now that I have fused ultimacy, you don't seem to have any advantage. Chapter 446. Little Yin-Yang True Destruction Sword. As he swung his sword, 2 rays of light, one blue and one red, condensed to form a sharp sword ray. Once the scarlet blue sword ray was formed, 2 different powers, one hot and one cold, one yin and one yang, erupted from it. At this moment, the little yin-yang sword ray was strengthened by the fire and water ultimacy, and its power increased by several folds. Puchi, faced with the attack of the little yin-yang sword ray, the Tai Chi palm shadow was instantly destroyed and dissipated. Not only that, But the little yin-yang sword ray continued to attack Lung Hui after destroying the Tai Chi palm shadow. The fire and water ultimacy. Lung Hui was shocked when he saw the little yin-yang sword ray that was emitting the fire and water ultimacy. This scene was too shocking for him. It was too hard for him to accept. Mo Qingyun had really merged the fire and water ultimacy. He was able to merge the ultimacy mainly because his martial soul had mutated and obtained a special martial soul super ability. This martial soul super ability could merge the fire and water ultimacy to form a fire and water ultimacy that was even more powerful. Mo Qingyun did not have the mutated fire and water dragon-scaled lion martial soul, so he could not obtain a martial soul super ability that could merge the fire and water ultimacy. But now, Mo Qingyun had merged the fire and water ultimacy. To Lung Hui, this scene was somewhat abnormal, and it made him feel very puzzled. While he was shocked, Lung Hui did not dare to hesitate and immediately blocked the little yin-yang sword ray. After blocking the little yin-yang sword ray, Lung Hui was shocked and said to Mo Qingyun, "How can you merge the fire and water ultimacy? Is it very difficult to merge the ultimacy?" Mo Qingyun pursed his lips and smiled at Lung Hui's shock. "Of course, I was able to merge the ultimacy mainly because you gave me the inspiration." Mo Qingyun was a supreme being in his previous life. When he broke through from the transcendent realm to the supreme being realm, he merged all the power of law that he had comprehended. That was why he was able to break through to the supreme being realm. The laws were a power that was even more powerful and profound than the profound meanings. Mo Qingyun could even fuse the power of laws. At this moment, fusing profundities was simply nothing to him. Previously, Mo Qingyun did not attempt to fuse the profound meanings because he was like many other experts. His thinking had entered a misconception. He had never thought that the power of profound meanings could be fused. Hence, he had never fused his profundities before this. Until now, when he saw Lung Hui use the fire and water fusion Upanishad, he felt enlightened. It turned out that the power of profundity could be fused. At the moment, Lung Hui's action had opened a whole new window for Mo Qingyun's cultivation. Speaking of which, Mo Qingyun had to thank Lung Hui. Glancing at Lung Hui, Mo Qingyun's smile widened. "To thank you, I will show you the power Upanishad fused with 2 or more power Upanishads." As soon as Mo Qingyun finished speaking, he wielded the evil-slaying sword and slashed at Lung Hui. Instantly, the 3 different colored yuan forces quickly gathered together and transformed into a 3-colored sword radiance. Once the 3-colored sword light was formed, it exuded a power that was even stronger than the little yin-yang sword light. Other than the 2 extreme powers of water and fire, the 3-colored sword light was also supported by the speed of the wind profound meaning. In addition, with the help of the wind and the fire, the power of the flame in the 3-colored sword light became stronger at this moment. Whoosh, 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 wherever the 3-colored sword light passed, it immediately set off a terrifying essence energy storm, sweeping towards Lung Hui like a whirlwind sweeping away clouds. Seeing the power of Mo Qingyun's sword, everyone's expression changed. They looked at Mo Qingyun in shock. A person who fused 3 types of profound meanings. Mo Qingyun is too terrifying. He's even crazier than Lung Hui. With the power of Mo Qingyun's sword, even a half-step pill palace expert wouldn't be able to withstand it. Who would have thought that the fusion of profound meanings that Lung Hui was so proud of would help Mo Qingyun? This result must be depressing for him. Everyone sighed with emotion in their hearts. What goes around comes around. While everyone was still in shock, the 3-colored sword light neared Lung Hui. Divine Demon Venomous Sky Palm. Seeing the 3-colored sword light closing in on him, Lung Hui's face darkened. He raised his hand and punched the 3-colored sword light, following which a ray of light bloomed from Lung Hui's palm. It emitted a dark and corrosive aura. Soon after, a poisonous palm with a threatening aura gathered in Lung Hui's palm and blasted towards the 3-colored sword light. Bang! When the palm shadow and the sword light collided, a loud bang was heard. Elemental energy raged, and a storm swept out. In an instant, the fighting stage was filled with smoke. Under the cover of the smoke, Imo, Qingyun, and Lung Hui's figures disappeared from everyone's sight. Cough, cough, cough. After a while, a soft cough was heard from the smoke. Who was the one who coughed? Was it Imo Qingyun or Lung Hui? At this moment, everyone's curiosity was piqued as they stared nervously at the smoke. After a while, the smoke dissipated and Imo Qingyun and Lung Hui's figures appeared in everyone's sight. At this moment, Imo Qingyun was still standing at the same spot with a calm face. There was no injury on his body. Compared to Imo Qingyun's calmness, Lung Hui looked miserable. His hair was disheveled and his clothes were tattered. There was even a trace of blood at the corner of his mouth. Lung Hui was injured. Seeing the trace of blood at the corner of Lung Hui's mouth, everyone was stunned. They were shocked by this scene. With Lung Hui's half-step Pill Palace cultivation, he was actually injured by Imo Qingyun, who was in the 5th level of Yuan Dan. Cough, cough, cough. Lung Hui coughed again, and his expression became sinister. He gritted his teeth and said, Imo Qingyun, you forced me to do this. Prepare to die. As soon as Lung Hui finished speaking, he took out a purple elixir and swallowed it. Following that, his aura instantly rose. After a while, Lung Hui's body gradually floated in the air, giving people the feeling of a king looking down from above. Standing in the air was an ability that only Pill Palace experts had. Since Lung Hui was able to stand in the air, didn't that mean that after he consumed the elixir, his cultivation entered the Pill Palace realm? Great False Palace Elixir. Seeing the elixir that Lung Hui consumed, Imo Qingyun shook his head and looked at Lung Hui with sympathy. The Great False Palace Elixir was a type of elixir that could allow a person at the peak of Yuan Dan realm to instantly possess the strength of a Pill Palace realm. However, this elixir had a huge side effect. After consuming it, one's cultivation would not be able to break through to the Pill Palace realm for 5 years. 5 years was an extremely long time for a cultivator at the Yuan Dan realm. It could affect his future achievements. Chapter 447. Lung Hui used the Great False Palace Pill. Seeing Lung Hui's actions, Lung Wuya and the others' expressions changed. They looked at Imo Qingyun with a ferocious expression. Because of Imo Qingyun, another genius of the Lung family was going to fall. With Lung Hui's talent, if he was given 5 years, he could enter the middle level of the Pill Palace. But now, because of Imo Qingyun, Lung Hui's cultivation wouldn't be able to improve in the next 5 years. Because of this, Lung Hui might turn from a genius to an ordinary person. This was something that Lung Wuya and the others couldn't accept. Imo Qingyun, if I, Lung Wuya, don't kill you, I swear I'm not a human. Lung Wuya clenched his fists so tightly that cracking sounds could be heard. He glared at Imo Qingyun with a gloomy expression, and a terrifying killing intent exploded from his body. At this moment, when Lung Wuya was furious, everyone's expression became complicated when they saw Lung Hui's actions. They didn't expect that 2 geniuses of the Lung family would turn into ordinary people because of Imo Qingyun. Even the powerful Lung family couldn't bear such a loss. After all, geniuses of the younger generation weren't wealth. If they were lost, they could be found again. In order to nurture a genius of the younger generation, the price to pay was too high. This time, the Lung family is doomed. 2 geniuses of the younger generation have fallen. This is a huge price to pay. Now, the only genius of the Lung family left is Lung Yufeng. If something happens to Lung Yufeng, the Lung family won't be able to keep their position. The Lung family's position won't be shaken. Lung Yufeng has already matured. As long as he's here, the Lung family won't decline. That's true. After all, Lung Yufeng is the #1 genius of the Lung family. The others are just icing on the cake. In the spectator seats, all the family clan sighed and looked at the Lung clan with envy. If the younger generation of their family could be like the younger generation of the Lung family, their family would not have to worry about prosperity. Of course, while everyone was lamenting the Lung family, they were also worried about Mo Qingyan. Lung Hui's cultivation has increased to the Pill Palace realm. I'm afraid Mo Qingyan's situation isn't looking good. That's right. The gap between a half-step Pill Palace and a Pill Palace is huge. Lung Hui's strength has increased by at least 5 times. From the looks of it, the result of this battle has already been decided. Mo Qingyan will definitely lose. However, with Mo Qingyun's Yuan Dan level 5 cultivation, even if he is no match for Lung Hui, it is an honorable defeat for him to be able to achieve this. Everyone sighed again. Lung Hui actually used the Great False Palace Pill to raise his cultivation base to the Pill Palace realm. This time, Qing Yun is in trouble. Seeing Lung Hui's actions, Lin Tang was also worried. He said in a low voice, "I wonder if Qing Yun will be able to fight with Lung Hui." Yi Weio's face was filled with worry. She looked at Mo Qing Yun with teary eyes and said, "Junior Qing Yun, quickly admit defeat. Lung Hui of the Pill Palace realm isn't someone you can face. At most, I will marry Lung Hui." Hearing Yi Weio's words, Mo Qingyun gave her a comforting smile and said, "Senior Weio, don't worry. Even if he used the Great False Palace Pill to temporarily enter the Pill Palace realm, it will only be in the False Pill Palace realm. There is nothing to worry about." Shameless boasting. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Lung Hui let out a gloomy voice. He looked at Mo Qingyun and said malevolently, "Mo Qingyun, even if you want to admit defeat now, I won't give you the chance." Fiend God Heaven-breaking palm. Lung Hui struck out with his palm. Instantly, the sky changed color and the wind and clouds stirred. Waves of terrifying elemental energy rushed towards Lung Hui like dark clouds. Not long after, a huge palm was formed. It emitted an aura that came from the ancient demon realm and pressed down on Mo Qingyun. Boom! Under the crushing pressure of the giant palm, a wave of air was set off on the ground, and a loud explosion was heard. Looking at the huge palm that was pressing down on him, Mo Qingyun didn't hesitate and slashed out with the evil slaying sword. 4 waves of elemental energy of different colors quickly gathered on the evil slaying sword and turned into a shocking sword light that blasted towards the huge palm. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. The moment the 4-colored sword light appeared, it started to spin crazily and attacked the huge palm like a tornado. At the same time, 4 waves of profound force were emitted from the 4-colored sword light and fused into a single fused profound force. 4 types. Mo Qingyun has not comprehended 3 types of profound force, but 4 types. Sensing the profound force that was contained in Mo Qingyun's sword, Yun Boyi's expression changed. He was really shocked by this scene. It turned out that Mo Qingyun's previous performance wasn't his limit. He still had a backup plan. This brat actually hid his strength so well. Looking at Mo Qingyun's current performance, Lin Tang was ecstatic. His expression became excited, and he said in surprise, "4 types of profound force. I really don't know how this brat did it. 4 types of profound force. Is this the brat's limit?" Yi Jingtian's body shook, and his expression became one of shock. His eyes were filled with anticipation. He was looking forward to seeing if Mo Qingyun would perform even more amazingly in the following moments. At this moment, while everyone was still in shock, the 4-colored sword light collided with the huge palm. Bang! A muffled sound was heard. Then, everyone saw the huge divine demon palm being blocked in the air by the 4-colored sword light. It couldn't move an inch further, and it was in a stalemate. Crack, crack, crack. However, the stalemate didn't last for long. Cracks appeared on the 4-colored sword light, as if it couldn't withstand the pressure of the huge divine demon palm. Seeing this, Lung Hui was delighted, and he said proudly, "Mo Qingyun, so what if you have comprehended 4 types of profound force? So what if you have fused 4 types of profound force? Now, you will still be defeated by me." Looking at Lung Hui's expression, It seemed that he had already defeated Mo Qingyun and won first place in the college competition. Defeated by you? Mo Qingyun smiled indifferently. He looked at Leng Hui with a hint of mockery in his eyes. He smiled faintly and said, Leng Hui, it seems that you are too happy too early. Who said that fusing 4 types of profound force is my limit? If 4 types of profound force is not enough, then 5 types. Mo Qingyun shouted. Suddenly, a golden light appeared on his body, and he exuded a sharp, killing aura. This was the complete gold profound force. The power of gold is indestructible. Break. After releasing the complete gold profound force, Mo Qingyun merged the gold profound force into the 4-colored sword light. Suddenly, the 4-colored sword light's aura increased tremendously. Its power was more than a few times sharper. At the same time, the cracks on the 4-colored sword light healed rapidly and turned into a 5-colored sword light. Bang! Faced with the 5-colored sword light, the huge divine demon palm was instantly defeated and cracked in the air. Puff! The huge divine demon palm was defeated. Leng Hui, who was connected to it, was immediately mentally injured. He spat out blood and his face turned pale. Slash! After defeating the huge divine demon palm with 1 strike, Mo Qingyun didn't hesitate at all. He raised his hand and swung his sword at Leng Hui, creating an arc of sword light. Boy, how dare you! Seeing Mo Qingyun's action, a cold shout came from the Leng family. Chapter 448. Under this person's palm, a jade-green mountain peak appeared in the air, transforming into a huge figure that was dozens of feet tall. Roar! As soon as this huge figure appeared, it let out a violent roar, like an ancient ape going berserk. The huge figure roared, raised its right hand, and fiercely slammed down on Mo Qingyun. Seeing this scene, everyone's expression changed. They did not expect that someone would attack Mo Qingyun at this moment. The person who attacked Mo Qingyun was none other than the Leng family's #1 genius, Leng Yufeng. Leng Yufeng, stop! Seeing Leng Yufeng suddenly attack, Tang Zhan and the others' expressions changed, and they berated Leng Yufeng. They truly did not expect that Leng Yufeng would actually dare to make a move against Mo Qingyun, even though they had already warned everyone in the Leng clan just now. At this moment, because Leng Yufeng's attack was too sudden, and coupled with the fact that he had borrowed the power of his physique, it was too late for Tang Zhan and the others to stop him. Hearing Tang Zhan and the others' words, the corners of Leng Yufeng's mouth curled into a sneer, and he had no intention of stopping his attack. Then, Leng Yufeng sneered, looked at Mo Qingyun, and said coldly, Kid, no one could save you today. Seeing Leng Yufeng attack Mo Qingyun, Leng Hui's face was filled with ecstasy. He smiled proudly at Mo Qingyun and said, Mo Qingyun, now that cousin Yufeng has attacked you, prepare to die. Prepare to die? Mo Qingyun's face turned cold, and his body emitted a murderous aura. He said coldly, Leng Hui, you don't seem to understand the situation. The one who is going to die now is you. Bird of prey attack. As soon as Mo Qingyun finished speaking, his body moved, and he quickly attacked Leng Hui. In a few flashes, Mo Qingyun arrived in front of Leng Hui and slashed at him forcefully. A brilliant sword ray burst out from the evil slaying sword, and in a flash, it pierced through Leng Hui's body. You dare to kill me. Leng Hui's eyes widened in disbelief when he saw that his body had been penetrated by the sword light. Mo Qingyun clearly knew that the academy tournament prohibited students from seriously injuring their opponents. Yet Mo Qingyun still dared to kill him. It had to be said that Mo Qingyun's actions were too crazy. You think too highly of yourself. In my eyes, killing you is as easy as killing a dog. Mo Qingyun spoke a sentence of disdain, and then no longer hesitated. He raised his hand to block Leng Yufeng's attack. At this moment, Mo Qingyun no longer held back and directly pointed at the huge figure. Shaoza Heavenly Spirit Finger. With the point of his finger, the clouds in the sky gathered, and a huge vortex appeared, emitting a terrifying aura. Then, a terrifying oppressive might burst forth from the vortex, and a finger appeared. To be exact, it was half a finger. Boom, boom, boom. When this half finger appeared from the elemental energy whirlpool, the ground immediately started to shake, as though it was unable to withstand its might. Then, this half of the finger carried a terrifying demonic aura as it blasted toward the giant figure's palm. Bang! After a loud bang, a terrifying wave of elemental energy erupted from the giant figure's palm. Under this wave of elemental energy, cracks immediately appeared on the giant figure's palm. He blocked it. Seeing this, Lung Yufeng's expression changed. He was surprised by this outcome. With Mo Qingyun's cultivation level of Yuan Dan Stage 5, he was actually able to block his attack. Even if it was just a casual attack, it was still very shocking. He blocked it. Lung Yufeng's attack had been blocked by Mo Qingyun. Compared to Lung Yufeng's shock, the others were undoubtedly more shocked. Of course, the reason why they were more shocked was because of the martial arts that Mo Qingyun had just displayed. Mo Qingyun's martial arts seems to have a similar feeling. It seems to be the arm from the Burning Heavens auction house. Once this thought came to his mind, Yi Jingtian's eyes immediately widened. His heart was in turmoil as he said in shock, "Could it be that Mo Qingyun's martial arts came from the arm from the auction house?" Once this thought came to his mind, Yi Jingtian was instantly frightened and his heart was unable to calm down for a long time. Damn this brat. He actually obtained such a powerful legacy martial arts from that arm. Lung Wuya's expression was gloomy as he looked at Mo Qingyun with jealousy. His gaze became even more venomous. He actually did it. He actually managed to research the origin of that arm. In the crowd, a somewhat enchanting young lady looked at Mo Qingyun with surprise. After a short moment of surprise, the young lady revealed a bright smile and said faintly, "Brother Yun, you really didn't disappoint one." While everyone was still in shock, Tang Zhan appeared in front of Mo Qingyun in a flash and shielded Mo Qingyun behind him. "Mr. Mo, are you all right?" Tang Zhan asked Mo Qingyun with a nervous expression. If anything happened to Mo Qingyun in front of him, he wouldn't be able to answer to Qi Lian. "Don't worry, I'm fine." Mo Qingyun waved his hand and smiled faintly at Tang Zhan, indicating that he didn't need to be nervous. Seeing Tang Zhan appear in front of Mo Qingyun, Lung Yufeng frowned slightly and revealed a trace of pity. He knew that he had missed a good opportunity to kill Mo Qingyun. Now, it was impossible for him to kill Mo Qingyun again. After pondering for a moment, Lung Yufeng's expression darkened as he coldly said, "Mo Qingyun, the Academy's grand competition strictly forbids anyone from seriously injuring other students. Yet you actually attacked and killed Lung Hui. Obediently kneel down and accept your punishment. Kneel down and accept my punishment." Hearing Lung Yufeng's words, Mo Qingyun looked at him with disdain. He smiled indifferently and said, "When we were fighting, someone suddenly launched a sneak attack on me. In a moment of panic, I lost my composure and accidentally killed Lung Hui. You can't blame me for this." "Humph. No matter what, you have broken the rules of the college tournament. You must accept the college's punishment," Lung Yufeng said with a cold expression. "When I was fighting with Lung Hui, you suddenly launched a sneak attack on me. Isn't that breaking the college's rules? Shouldn't you be punished?" Mo Qingyun sneered as he looked at Lung Yufeng. He opened his mouth and asked him a question in return. He then said with an unhappy expression, "Also, this is the Hidden Dragon Academy's Academy Tournament. It's none of your Soaring Dragon Academy's business. It's none of your Soaring Dragon Academy's business. You're courting death." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Lung Yufeng's expression darkened. He wanted to attack Mo Qingyun again. Who was Lung Yufeng? He was the #1 genius of the Lung family's younger generation and the #1 student of the Soaring Dragon Academy. Normally, no one would be polite to him when they saw him. Today, he was actually being insulted by a Yuan Dan brat. This kind of thing was not something he could accept. Mo Qingyun didn't care about Lung Yufeng's anger at all. He looked at him with disdain and said coldly, "Lung Yufeng, if you dare to attack me, I will make sure that none of your Lung family members in the central square can leave here alive. Chapter 449. Young Lord, this old servant's cultivation has broken through. At that moment, when Mo Qingyun said those words, Qi Lian sent him a message of joy. Oh! Hearing Qi Lian's voice transmission, Mo Qingyun's expression changed, and his face revealed a look of wild joy. While Mo Qingyun was overjoyed, Lung Wuya snorted coldly. Oomph! You sure talk big. You want to keep my Lung family here? Even with Tang Zhan's help, it won't work. Is that so? Mo Qingyun sneered when he heard Lung Wuya's words. If that's the case, open your eyes wide and see if I have the ability to keep your Lung family here. Qi Lian, come out. As soon as Mo Qingyun finished speaking, he shouted to the spectators. Following that, a terrifying aura spread out from the spectator stands. In order to prevent Qi Lian's sudden appearance from causing others to overthink, Lung Wuya let out a shout. When Mo Qingyun asked Qi Lian to leave the Hexian Hall, he didn't ask Qi Lian to appear beside him. Instead, he asked Qi Lian to appear in the audience. Mid-level Heaven Star Border Aura. Everyone's expression changed when they felt Qi Lian's aura. Reverence filled their faces. This old man's cultivation has broken through to the mid-level Heaven Star border. How is that possible? He was only at the pinnacle of the Pill Palace a year ago. How can he be at the mid-level Heaven Star border now? Could it be that this old man has been hiding his cultivation all this time? That should be the case. Otherwise, how could he break through so quickly? I didn't expect Mo Qingyun to have a mid-level Heaven Star border expert by his side. No wonder he dares to be so arrogant. At this moment, everyone's expression changed drastically as they whispered to each other. Heaven Star Border Level 4. Lung Wuya's expression changed when he felt Qi Lian's aura. His eyes were filled with reverence. Lung Wuya was still wary of Qi Lian's strength. Not long ago, he and Lung Wantong were no match for Qi Lian, who was in the third stage of the Heaven Dipper Star border. Now that Qi Lian's cultivation base had broken through to the fourth level of Heavenly Dipper, the gap between him and Qi Lian was even greater. In that case, it wasn't impossible for Qi Lian to kill them. After a short moment of silence, Lung Wuya's face revealed a panicked expression. He said with a nervous tone, Mo Qingyun, you don't do anything reckless. This is the Hidden Dragon Institute. You can't do anything here. Why? Are you scared? Seeing Lung Wuya's reaction, Mo Qingyun looked at him mockingly and mocked him. Oomph, I just don't want to lower myself to your level. Lung Wuya's expression became awkward. His face turned red as he said those shameless words. At this moment, anyone could see that Lung Wuya was scared. Since that's the case, the champion of this year's inter-school grand competition is Mo Qingyun from the Win Hall. At this moment, Huang Zhongyue suddenly spoke to resolve Lung Wuya's awkward situation and announced the champion of the inter-school grand competition. When the result was announced, Huang Zhongyue's heart was filled with emotions. This result was truly out of his expectations. At this moment, it wasn't just Huang Zhongyue who felt that way. Everyone else in the central square was also surprised. Junior brother Qingyun, he really did it. Hearing Huang Zhongyue announce that Mo Qingyun won the inter-school grand competition, Yi Wuyo's face was filled with joy. Champion of the inter-school grand competition, Long Yuqian's face was filled with excitement. His body unconsciously trembled as he said, emotionally, that means Cousin Qingyun. He wants to ask the Flame King for the Patriarch to cancel the agreement and let Anne out of the Dragon Repentance Valley. This brat, seeing that Mo Qingyun won the inter-school grand competition, Lin Tang had mixed feelings. He didn't know what to say for a moment. At this moment, everyone was still in shock. Yi Jingtian had a curious look on his face. He looked at Mo Qingyun and said with a smile, Nephew, the champion of the inter-school grand competition can make a request of me. What request do you have in mind? As he said this, Yi Jingtian winked at Mo Qingyun from time to time. Then, he glanced at Yi Wuyo, who was beside him. The meaning of his actions couldn't be more obvious. He was hinting at Mo Qingyun to ask him to marry Yi Wuyo. In Yi Jingtian's opinion, Mo Qingyun had challenged Leng Hui for Yi Wuyo's sake. If Mo Qingyun and Yi Wuyo had nothing to do with each other, he wouldn't believe it even if he was beaten to death. Of course, the most important thing was that Yi Jingtian was very satisfied with Mo Qingyun, his potential son-in-law. With the talent that Mo Qingyun had displayed, as well as the strength of the Tianyan mansion, he was definitely worthy of Yi Wuyo. After Yi Jingtian's words, everyone was curious and looked at Mo Qingyun nervously. They wanted to see what kind of request Mo Qingyun would make. Uncle Yi, my request is for you to help me get Family Headlong to cancel the agreement that he made with my mother, Mo Qingyun said solemnly. The agreement that your mother made with Family Headlong? Yi Jingtian was puzzled when he heard Mo Qingyun's words. He looked at Long Wancho and asked Mo Qingyun, Nephew, may I know who your mother is? Mo Qingyun said in a deep voice, Long Ruolin. Long Ruolin. When these three words came out of Mo Qingyun's mouth, everyone's expression changed drastically. Mo Qingyun's true identity was actually Long Ruolin's son. What? Did I hear wrongly? Mo Qingyun is actually Long Ruolin's son? I heard that more than 10 years ago, Long Ruolin married a lad from a subordinate kingdom and gave birth to a son. I didn't expect the child to be Mo Qingyun. This is unbelievable. The son of Long Ruolin and that lad from an inferior kingdom actually has such terrifying talent. At this moment, everyone was shocked and found it hard to believe. In the past year, the super genius Mo Qingyun, who had caused a commotion in Flame City, was actually Luo Ruolin's son. This result was truly unexpected. He's actually Long Ruolin's son. Long Wancho's expression changed drastically. He looked at Mo Qingyun coldly and thought to himself, if that's the case, this lad must have ulterior motives for getting close to Han Yin. What a sinister and cunning lad. You actually want to use Han Yin to take revenge on us for imprisoning Ruolin in the Dragon Repentance Valley. At this moment, Long Wancho's misunderstanding of Mo Qingyun deepened. He really is that bastard. No wonder he always goes against the Leng family. After knowing Mo Qingyun's identity, Leng Wuya's hatred for Mo Qingyun intensified. Back then, Long Ruolin was his fiancée. In the end, she was raped by a lad from an inferior kingdom. To him, this was a humiliation that he would never be able to erase. Mo Qingyun must die. At this moment, Leng Wuya secretly made a decision in his heart. You lad, after knowing Mo Qingyun's identity, Yi Jingtian smiled bitterly. He looked at Mo Qingyun and shook his head. You really hit it well. You deceived everyone in Flame City. I didn't expect you to be Ruolin's son. Chapter 450. After pondering for a while, Yi Jingtian smiled faintly and turned to look at Long Wancho. Yi Jingtian sighed and said, Brother Wancho, Long Ruolin has been in the Dragon Remorse Valley for more than 10 years. She has received the appropriate punishment. Do me a favor and allow her to leave the Dragon Remorse Valley and reunite with Qin Yun's family? Although Yi Jingtian seemed to be negotiating, anyone with a discerning eye could tell that there was no room for doubt in his tone. Mo Qingyun's request was different from Leng Hui's request. He wanted to save his mother. He wasn't like Leng Hui, who had brought harm to others because of his own desires. Therefore, Yi Jingtian's attitude was different from before. Long Wancho's expression turned solemn when he heard Yi Jingtian's words. He was considering whether he should agree to Yi Jingtian's request. After pondering for a while, Long Wancho looked unwilling and said angrily, From today onwards, we will no longer pursue Long Ruolin's mistake. We will allow her to leave the Dragon Remorse Valley. The reason why Long Wancho agreed to Yi Jingtian's request was because he felt that it wasn't worth offending Yi Jingtian just to punish Long Ruolin. After all, the Yi family had the final say in the Great Yin dynasty. He couldn't let the Long family and the Yi family fall out. One had to know that behind the Yi clan, there was a powerful existence from the prefecture. Mo Qingyun was delighted when he saw that Long Wancho would no longer pursue Long Rulin's mistake and would allow her to leave the Dragon Remorse Valley. Yi Jingtian thanked him. "Thank you, Uncle Yi." Everyone's expression changed when they saw Mo Qingyun's actions. They looked at Mo Qingyun with a subtle expression. Mo Qingyun's actions seemed to show his gratitude to Yi Jingtian. However, he was dissatisfied with Long Wancho. Otherwise, Mo Qingyun would have thanked Long Wancho for allowing Long Rulin to leave the Dragon Remorse Valley. However, Mo Qingyun didn't do so. The meaning behind his actions was self-evident. Yi Jingtian smiled faintly when he heard Mo Qingyun's words of gratitude. He waved his hand at Mo Qingyun and said, "Nephew, you don't have to be so courteous. You fought for it yourself." At this moment, Lung Yufeng walked towards Yi Jingtian with a faint smile on his face. Arriving in front of Yi Jingtian, Lung Yufeng bowed slightly and said, "Yin Wang, in this year's Soaring Dragon Academy's Academy Grand Competition, Yufeng was lucky enough to obtain the first place. Can I also make a request?" When Lung Yufeng said this, everyone's expression changed. They were surprised by Lung Yufeng's words. What? Lung Yufeng actually obtained first place in the Soaring Dragon Academy's Academy competition. This Lung Yufeng has such terrifying talent. Not only does Lung Yufeng possess a high-grade 13 sky breaking Vajra martial spirit, he also possesses the Yufeng spirit body. His talent is naturally terrifying. In that case, Lung Yufeng's talent is even above Mo Qingyun's. I don't think I've heard anyone say that Mo Qingyun has a special constitution. In comparison, Lung Yufeng's talent is indeed higher. The potential of a 3,000 unique constitution is equivalent to a 14th grade martial spirit. For a moment, the crowd couldn't help but compare Mo Qingyun with Lung Yufeng. Oh! Hearing Lung Yufeng's words, Yi Jingtian was stunned at first. Then he smiled and said, "Of course. May I know what request you have?" Hearing Yi Jingtian's words, Lung Yufeng revealed a sinister smile. He glanced at Mo Qingyun. Then, Lung Yufeng looked at Long Wancho and said humbly, 2 years ago, Yufeng met Miss Han Yin at the Long family. Since then, Yufeng has been admiring her and could not forget her. Therefore, Yufeng would like to ask Yin Wang to be the matchmaker for me and Miss Han Yin." Lung Yufeng wanted to marry Long Han Yin. Hearing Lung Yufeng's words, everyone in the square was shocked. They were astonished by Lung Yufeng's actions. Then, everyone's gaze unconsciously turned to Mo Qingyun. Many of them knew that Mo Qingyun and Long Han Yin were in a relationship. They were only waiting for Mo Qingyun to propose marriage to the Long family. But now, Lung Yufeng wanted to stick his foot in. This way, things became somewhat complicated. Seeing Lung Yufeng's actions, Long Wancho's expression changed, and he turned to look at Lung Wuya. When Lung Wuya saw Long Wancho looking at him, he nodded and revealed a faint smile. It seemed that only Long Wancho could understand the meaning behind it. "Brother Wancho, what do you think?" Hearing Lung Yufeng's words, Yi Jingtian frowned and asked Long Wancho. Yi Jingtian knew about the matter between Mo Qingyun and Long Han Yin. Therefore, he was surprised by Lung Yufeng's actions. When Long Wancho heard Yi Jingtian's words, he sneered and looked at Mo Qingyun. He said in a deep voice, "I agree to the marriage between Yufeng and Han Yin. Our Long family and the Lung family have always been on good terms. Now that we can become in-laws, I naturally have no objections." Long Wancho had agreed. Hearing Long Wancho's words, everyone's expression changed. They could not believe their ears. It seemed that Long Wancho had already made his choice between Mo Qingyun and Lung Yufeng. He felt that Lung Yufeng was more suitable than Mo Qingyun to be the son-in-law of the Long family. "Thank you, Grandpa Wancho." When Lung Yufeng heard Long Wancho's words, he immediately revealed a humble expression and bowed to Long Wancho. "Ha! No need to be so polite." Seeing Lung Yufeng's actions, Long Wancho waved his hand and smiled. Then, he looked at Mo Qingyun and said coldly, "Mo Qingyun, I know that you have been pestering Han Yin. Now that Han Yin and Yu Feng are engaged, I hope that you will stop pestering her so shamelessly." When Long Wancho said this, everyone's expression changed again. They looked at Mo Qingyun again. How would Mo Qingyun respond to Long Wancho's attitude? "Patriarch Long, you can't stop me and Han Yin. Neither can the Lung family." Mo Qingyun had a resolute expression on his face as he replied to Long Wancho. A cold glint flashed in his eyes as he looked towards Lung Yufeng and icily said, "Lung Yufeng, congratulations. You have successfully angered me. Since this is the case, there will no longer be a Lung clan in Yin City. From today onwards, there is no longer a Lung family in Yin City." When they heard Mo Qingyun's words, everyone's expression changed. They were shocked by Mo Qingyun's words. Was Mo Qingyun planning to destroy the Lung family? Mo Qingyun, you think too highly of yourself. Seeing Mo Qingyun's attitude, Lung Wuya's expression turned sinister. He said furiously, "Don't think that you can look down on our Lung family just because your Tianyin Manor has an additional Heaven Star border expert. You don't have the qualifications to destroy our Lung family. Lung Wuya, you think too highly of yourself. If my blood refinement hall is included, do you think we have the qualifications?" When Lung Wuya finished speaking, a cold voice came from behind Mo Qingyun. When he heard his master's words, Lung Wuya's face twitched. He panicked and said, "Tang Zhan, don't go too far. My Lung family has never offended your blood refinement hall. Why are you helping Mo Qingyun deal with my Lung family?" "Because Mo Qingyun is my master." Chapter 451. Because Mo Qingyun is my master. Tang Zhan's words were like a sledgehammer that struck everyone's hearts, causing great waves to rise in everyone's hearts. "Did I hear wrongly?" Hall Master Tang Zhan said. "Mo Qingyun is his master?" "Mo Qingyun is Tang Zhan's master." How is this possible? I must have heard wrongly. How can this be? Mo Qingyun is Tang Zhan's master. When Tang Zhan shook Ignispolis, Mo Qingyun wasn't even born yet, right? At this moment, everyone felt that this news was too unreal. Hall Master Tang Zhan of the Blood Refinement Hall, one of the 5 major powers of Ignispolis, was actually Mo Qingyun's servant. Was there anything more ridiculous than this? It had to be said that this news was too shocking. At this moment, if Tang Zhan hadn't said it himself, no one would have dared to believe that this was true. But now that Tang Zhan had said it himself, everyone was still shocked and felt that it was too unreal. However, after a short moment of shock, everyone's face revealed a look of understanding. So this was the case. So Mo Qingyun was Tang Zhan's master. No wonder Tang Zhan had always been on Mo Qingyun's side. At this moment, the mystery that had been hidden in everyone's heart was finally solved. Phew, just how many secrets does this kid have? After a short moment of shock, Yi Jingtian took a deep breath and calmed his shocked heart. He sighed. This time, Long Wancho seems to have made a wrong decision. This kid's future is limitless. Lung Yufeng can't compare to him. He's actually Tang Zhan's master. How is this possible? Seeing this scene, Long Wancho's expression became complicated. A trace of regret flashed in his eyes. At this moment, he faintly felt that he had missed something and made a wrong decision. Now, the power that Mo Qingyun had displayed had completely suppressed the Lung family. He was charging towards the number 1 family in Ignispolis. Cousin Qingyun is actually Tang Zhan's master. This is really too shocking. Long Yutian was so shocked that he didn't even realize that the wine in his hand had spilled. Just like Long Yutian, Lu Fengliang and the others were also shocked by the news. Their faces were filled with astonishment. While everyone's faces were filled with shock, Mo Qingyun took out a jade slip and crushed it forcefully. Wind and clouds began to gather in the sky above the central square, revealing a beautiful figure. Long Rulin. Some people who had an impression of Long Rulin were shocked when they saw the beautiful figure in the air. Long Rulin actually possessed the Big Dipper Shadow Doppelganger. Didn't this mean that Long Rulin's cultivation had already reached the middle stage of the Heavenly Dipper realm? In other words, Mo Qingyun already had 3 Heavenly Dipper middle-level experts by his side. Hiss! At the thought of this, everyone sucked in a breath of cold air and looked at Mo Qingyun with fear. A faction with 3 Heavenly Dipper realm experts had suddenly risen up. This was too unbelievable. What was even more unacceptable was that this faction had only established itself in Ignispolis for a year. Moreover, the person in charge of this faction was a young man who wasn't even 20 years old. This kind of result made some of the older generation sigh in their hearts. The stage of this world still belonged to the younger generation. Long Rulin's cultivation has broken through to the middle stage of the Heavenly Dipper realm. Long Wancho's expression changed drastically. He was stunned on the spot, and his expression became complicated. There was even a hint of self-mockery in his eyes. Laughable, this was too laughable. Their Long family had actually imprisoned the number 1 expert of the Long family in the Regret Dragon Valley. How ironic. Qingyun, why are you looking for me? Long Rulin came to the sky above the central square and asked Mo Qingyun with a worried look on her face. Back then, she had given Mo Qingyun the Soul Jade Slip. She had instructed Mo Qingyun to crush the Soul Jade Slip when he was in danger. In Long Rulin's opinion, Mo Qingyun must have encountered some danger since he had crushed the Soul Jade Slip. Mother, I've already obtained the first place in the Hidden Dragon College's college tournament. Mo Qingyun revealed a bright smile and revealed a proud aura. He said, I just asked the Flame King to step in and ask the Long family's patriarch not to pursue your mistake back then. Therefore, you can leave the Regret Dragon Valley. You can leave the Regret Dragon Valley. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Long Rulin's expression changed and became a little emotional. It had been almost 20 years. She had been in the Regret Dragon Valley for almost 20 years. Now, she could finally leave the Regret Dragon Valley and reunite with Mo Qingyun and Mo Feiyu. Immediately after, Long Rulin's Big Dipper shadow in the air quickly dissipated. At the same time, when Long Rulin's Big Dipper shadow dissipated, a shocking aura rapidly approached the central square. Everyone knew that Long Rulin's original body was coming. Immediately after, a woman wearing a light blue dress appeared beside Mo Qingyun and looked at Mo Qingyun lovingly. Qingyun, didn't I tell you to fight for the first place in the college tournament 3 years later? Why did you? Long Rulin said with a pained expression. With her experience, she naturally knew how difficult it was for Mo Qingyun to obtain the first place in the college tournament. Mother, 3 years is too long. I should seize every moment. Mo Qingyun replied with a faint smile and said, Now, it seems that my method is correct. After chatting with Long Rulin for a while, Mo Qingyun didn't wait for Long Rulin to speak and said, Mother, let's talk about other things later. Now, let's settle the score with the Long family. Mo Qingyun said to Long Rulin. Then he looked at Lung Wuya with a cold expression and said, Lung Wuya, do you still think that I don't have the ability to destroy the Lung family? You, hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Lung Wuya's expression immediately twitched. He panicked and his palms unconsciously became sweaty. With Mo Qingyun's current combat strength, it would be easy for him to destroy the Lung family. There was no suspense at all. Was the Lung family really going to be destroyed by Mo Qingyun? Thinking of this, Lung Wuya's expression became gloomy. He turned around and looked behind him. Lung Wuya's gaze paused on the 3 black-robed men in the Lung family. He gritted his teeth and said, Elder Luo, I agree to your conditions. I only ask that you eliminate the Tianyan Manor and Mo Qingyun for me. Patriarch of the Lung family, you finally thought it through. Hearing Lung Wuya's words, the 3 black-robed men revealed a sinister smile and said coldly, Don't worry, we won't let Mo Qingyun go. Today, Mo Qingyun will die without a doubt. Then, a shocking aura exuded from the 3 black-robed men. Once this aura was released, everyone's expression changed and revealed a look of respect. The aura of a mid-level Heaven Star Border expert. These three were all mid-level Heaven Star Border experts. Chapter 452. Seeing this scene, everyone looked at the Lung clan with a strong sense of reverence. No one expected the Lung clan to have three Heavenly Dipper middle-level powerhouses. Not only that, among the three mid-level Heavenly Dipper sovereigns, two of them were not at the fourth level of Heavenly Dipper. One of them was at the peak of the fifth level of Heaven Star Border, while the other was at the early stage of the fifth level of Heaven Star Border. Such strength was already considered to be at the pinnacle of the Flame Capital. Mo Qingyun, you didn't expect this, right? I didn't expect there to be such experts in the Lung family. Lung Weia had a ferocious smile on his face. He looked at Mo Qingyun with a gloomy look. Hearing Lung Weia's words, Mo Qingyun looked at him with disdain and mocked. This is the first time I've seen someone so happy being someone else's dog. Lung Weia, thank you for opening my eyes. Oomph, you got a sharp tongue. Lung Weia grunted coldly when he heard Mo Qingyun and continued. However, you won't be able to be proud for long. You'll become a dead soul very soon. Mo Qingyun ignored Lung Weia's words and looked at the three black-robed men behind Lung Weia. Robo really thinks highly of me, Mo Qingyun. I'm flattered that he sent three mid-level Heaven Star Border experts to deal with me. Mo Qingyun, you've got guts. You actually dared to leave the rolling curtain peak. Luo Linha sneered and looked at Mo Qingyun mockingly. He said coldly, now that those fellows from the curtain peak are gone, I want to see who can save you today. Mo Qingyun smiled indifferently when he heard Luo Linha's words. He replied, the three of you aren't qualified to kill me with your abilities. You won't cry until you see the coffin. I'd like to see what other tricks you have up your sleeves. After saying that, Luo Linha and the other two no longer hesitated and immediately attacked Mo Qingyun. Gentlemen, this is the Dian province. Please don't fight here. Seeing their actions, Yun Boyi's face darkened as he spoke in displeasure. Oomph, a small dynasty dares to stop us? Do you want to be removed from the list? Luo Linha's face darkened when he saw Yun Boyi's actions. He released the strength of a peak Heaven Star Border Stage 5 and pressed down on Yun Boyi. Yun Boyi's expression changed when he saw Luo Linha's aura. He subconsciously took a few steps back. Mo Qingyun's expression changed when he witnessed this scene, and he said gratefully to Yun Boyi, Dean Yun, I'll remember your kind intentions. However, let me deal with this matter myself. You. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Yun Boyi hesitated for a moment and hesitated. While Yun Boyi was hesitating, Huang Zhongyue's expression changed. Mo Qingyun's side isn't a match for the three mid-level Heaven Star Border experts from the Lung family. We have to inform Eminent Elder Changmei about this and get him to help Mo Qingyun. With this thought in mind, Huang Zhongyue no longer hesitated and immediately informed Changmei. Qilian, I'll leave the peak Heaven Star Border Stage 5 to you. Tang Zhan, you deal with the early stage Heaven Star Border Stage 5. I'll leave the remaining one to my mother. When Mo Qingyun saw the three of them attacking, he had a grave expression as he instructed Qi Lian and the other two. Qi Lian and the other two charged towards the opponents and started fighting with them. The battle was so intense that it was hard to separate them. Dark Ice Palace? Yi Jingtian's expression changed when he saw Luo Linha and the other two attacking Mo Qingyun. His face was filled with anger as he said furiously, You people from the Dark Ice Palace came to my Burning Sky Palace's empire to commit murder. Are you trying to cause a war between the Dark Ice Palace and the Burning Sky Palace? Yi Jingtian moved towards Long Ruolin as soon as he finished his words. He wanted to help Long Ruolin. A Heaven Star Border Stage 3 trash dares to obstruct us? You're courting death. The middle stage Heaven Star Border Stage 4 expert from the Dark Ice Palace was furious when he saw Yi Jingtian's action. He raised his hand and attacked Yi Jingtian. Bang! Yi Jingtian was immediately pushed back by this person's palm. His face was flushed red. From the looks of it, He must have suffered some minor injuries from the other party's attack. Mo Qingyun frowned when he saw Yi Jingtian's expression. He turned to Yi Jingtian and said, "Uncle Yi, don't worry. Qi Lian and the rest can handle them." Yi Jingtian was stunned when he saw Mo Qingyun's confident expression. He didn't know where Mo Qingyun got his confidence from. At this moment, Yi Jingtian was puzzled. Lung Wuya sneered. He jumped up and attacked Mo Qingyun with his palm. He said proudly, "Mo Qingyun, no one is protecting you now. I like to see how you're going to die today." Lung family's patriarch, it seems like you didn't understand what I said. I'll have to chase them away myself. Huang Zhongyue's face darkened when he saw Lung Wuya attacking. He stood up and tried to stop Lung Wuya. However, when Huang Zhongyue tried to stop Lung Wuya, an even more terrifying aura came from the Lung family. Then, everyone saw a gray-haired old man fly out from the Lung clan. He turned into a stream of light and continued to attack Mo Qingyun. *T. That's Lung Qingfeng. Huang Zhongyue's expression changed drastically when he saw the gray-haired old man attacking Mo Qingyun. His face was filled with panic. He didn't expect Lung Qingfeng to be here with Lung Wuya and the rest to watch the tournament. Lung Qingfeng was the patriarch of the Lung family. He was a Heaven Star border stage for elite. Now that he had made a move against Mo Qingyun, it was impossible for everyone to stop him with their current strength. This was going to be troublesome. Lung Qingfeng is a Heaven Star border stage intermediate. No one here can stop him. I hope Elder Longbrow can make it in time. At this moment, Huang Zhongyue's expression was solemn and his heart was extremely tense. Lung Qingfeng, you're too presumptuous. At this moment, an angry voice came from afar. Then, everyone saw two long eyebrows streaking across the sky towards Lung Qingfeng. Eminent Elder Longbrow. Huang Zhongyue was overjoyed when he saw the two eyebrows. He felt more relaxed. Eminent Elder Longbrow finally made it in time. Lung Qingfeng's expression changed when he saw the two eyebrows flying towards him. He quickly weighed his options. In an instant, Lung Qingfeng made up his mind. He revealed a vicious expression and said, "Brat, I'll kill you even if I have to get injured." In Lung Qingfeng's eyes, Mo Qingyun's talent and potential were too terrifying. If he didn't get rid of Mo Qingyun, once Mo Qingyun grew stronger, he would be extremely terrifying. Therefore, in Lung Qingfeng's eyes, if he could kill Mo Qingyun at the cost of getting injured, it would be worth it. Chapter 453. Brat die. Lung Qingfeng's expression was ferocious. He raised his hand and blasted out a palm towards Mo Qingyun, erupting with a terrifying wave of origin energy. Seeing Lung Qingfeng's action, the expressions of the surrounding people changed drastically, and they let out a series of exclamations. At this moment, some of the more timid people even closed their eyes, not daring to continue watching. Qingyun. Seeing Lung Qingfeng attack Mo Qingyun, Lu Fangliang and the rest immediately became nervous. Each of them clenched their fists tightly, their hearts filled with worry. Facing the attack of Lung Qingfeng, who was at the middle stage of the Heavenly Dipper realm, could Mo Qingyun survive? Could Elder Longbrowed be able to stop Lung Qingfeng in time? At this moment, everyone's hearts were in their throats, and they all held their breaths. At this moment, when everyone was worried about Mo Qingyun, a light door appeared beside Mo Qingyun. As soon as this light door appeared, Mo Qingyun walked in. Following that, Mo Qingyun's figure disappeared on the spot. Mo Qingyun's body disappeared from the spot and appeared in another place. This place happened to be where Longbrowed arrived. Teleportation? Shifting forms? Seeing Mo Qingyun's performance, everyone's expression changed drastically. They were extremely surprised by this scene. What kind of technique was this? At this moment, the ability that Mo Qingyun displayed once again broke everyone's understanding. They really did not expect that Mo Qingyun actually mastered this ability. Was this kind of ability something a person at the Origin Core stage should be able to grasp? After a brief moment of shock, there was an uproar in the central square. Mo Qingyun dodged Lung Qingfeng's attack. This is too shocking. What technique did Mo Qingyun use just now? He can actually teleport. This ability is something that even a transcendent powerhouse can't do, right? This Mo Qingyun really can't be treated as an ordinary person. He has too many tricks up his sleeve. If he doesn't die today, his future will definitely be limitless. Everyone's expression was shocked as they spoke words of excitement. Teleportation? When he saw Mo Qingyun arrive at his side, the Grand Elder's expression changed. He was also surprised. Immediately after, Changmei's expression became more serious as he thought to himself. The method Mo Qingyun used just now should be a life-saving method that Grandmaster left for him. After thinking about it this way, Changmei felt relieved. In his opinion, if Mo Qingyun's technique was a life-saving trump card that Gucci had left for him, then everything would make sense. After pondering for a moment, the long-browed elder no longer hesitated and attacked Lung Qingfeng. His movements were incomparably ruthless. In Changmei's eyes, Mo Qingyun was a descendant of Gucci. Lung Qingfeng actually tried to kill Mo Qingyun. This had already crossed his bottom line. While Long Eyebrows and Lung Qingfeng were fighting, Luo Linha's face turned cold. He said coldly, "Humph, what an unappreciative dime province. How dare you interfere in the affairs of my Mystic Ice Palace? Since that's the case, I'll wipe out your Dime Province today." "Old bastard, if you want to wipe out Dime Province, you'll have to ask me first." Hearing Luo Linha's words, Qi Lian's face turned cold as a bloodthirsty light flashed in his eyes. Now, Luo Linha was like a cultivation elixir in Qi Lian's eyes. If he could refine Luo Linha, his cultivation would definitely improve by leaps and bounds. Even if he couldn't immediately enter the 5th stage of Heaven Star Border, he would definitely make a huge leap. Humph. Although your intent realm is extremely high, your cultivation realm is too low. You can't stop me. Luo Lina coldly snorted as he looked at Qi Lian coldly. He said in a cold tone, "If you know what's good for you, you'll abandon the darkness and join the light. From today onwards, you'll be loyal to me. When you return to the Mystic Ice Palace, perhaps I can even give you the position of an elder." An elder position in the Mystic Ice Palace is nothing in my eyes. Hearing Luo Lina's words, Qi Lian disdainfully curled his lips as a look of disdain appeared in his eyes. "Since you don't know what's good for you, I'll kill you first before I kill Mo Qingyun." Luo Linha's face turned colder and his attacks became sharper. For a moment, he had the upper hand. Seeing that he had the upper hand, Luo Linha smirked and said to Mo Qingyun, "Mo Qingyun, I've already said that no one can save you today. Old man, you think too highly of yourself." Hearing Luo Linha's words, the corner of Mo Qingyun's lips curled up as he said indifferently, "I've already said that you guys aren't qualified to kill me. Mo Qingyun, Light Gate Martial Spirit, appear." After Mo Qingyun finished speaking, he didn't hesitate any longer as he summoned his Light Gate Martial Spirit. As soon as the Light Gate Martial Spirit appeared, it exuded an aura of vicissitudes, as if it came from ancient times. At this moment, when the crowd saw the Light Gate Martial Spirit, their expressions changed drastically. That Light Gate Martial Spirit? Does Mo Qingyun have 2 martial spirits? Twin martial spirits. Mo Qingyun actually has twin martial spirits. Is this his true talent? He is indeed a demon. Such talent is really enviable. Looking at the Light Gate Martial Spirit above Mo Qingyun, the crowd felt dizzy. They were shocked by Mo Qingyun's actions. Twin martial spirits. Seeing Mo Qingyun's martial spirits, Yi Jingtian was shocked. He smiled bitterly and said, "This brat has hidden his 2nd martial spirit well. This brat actually has 2 martial spirits." Lin Tang was shocked by Mo Qingyun's actions. He said excitedly, "What kind of monster have I, Lin Tang, accepted as my disciple? His talent is too terrifying. Twin martial spirits. Mo Qingyun actually has twin martial spirits. Seeing Mo Qingyun's twin martial spirits, Long Wancho looked as if he had epilepsy. He opened his eyes wide and shook his head continuously. His face was full of regret. A grandson-in-law who had twin martial spirits had been abandoned by him, just like that. Long Wancho knew clearly that it was useless for him to regret now. His previous decision had already left a huge grudge in Mo Qingyun's heart. It was impossible to get rid of it. Qingyun, he has twin martial spirits. Seeing Mo Qingyun's martial spirits, Long Rulin was overjoyed. She was so happy that she cried. Twin martial spirits? Seeing Mo Qingyun's twin martial spirits, Luo Linha was stunned. Then he said disdainfully, Mo Qingyun, do you think that summoning another martial spirit can change the outcome? Or do you think that summoning another martial spirit can frighten us? Luo Linha asked again. I don't know if it will frighten me, but it will definitely change the outcome. Mo Qingyun's face was cold as he replied to Luo Linha. Seal gate, seal for me. A mini light gate quickly formed in Mo Qingyun's hand. In a flash, it blasted into Luo Linha's body. When the mini light gate blasted into Luo Linha's body, it started to seal his blood and spiritual soul. His blood chi was blocked, and his spiritual soul became weak. Puff! Then Luo Linha's face turned pale, and he spat out a mouthful of blood. His aura started to weaken rapidly. Chapter 454. You'll know when you get down there. In response to Luo Linha's shock, Mo Qingyun sneered and said a cold sentence to him. After Mo Qingyun finished speaking, he stopped talking to Luo Linha and looked at the Heaven Star Border Stage 5 cultivator at the side. Seal gate, seal for me. When Mo Qingyun looked at the person, a mini version of the light gate appeared in his hand, emitting a dazzling light. As soon as the mini version of the light door appeared, it disappeared in a flash and blasted towards that person like a meteor. Facing the sealed gate, the person was hit by the mini version of the light gate like Luo Linha. PFFF. Following that, he spat out a mouthful of blood. His face turned pale and his aura weakened rapidly. Soon, his aura fell from the Heaven Star Border Stage 5 to the Heaven Star Border Stage 4. After this discovery, the crowd was shocked once again. They all stared at Mo Qingyun with their eyes wide open. Mo Qingyun actually had a way to suppress his opponent's cultivation. This was too frightening. This method was simply a godly technique to kill someone with a higher cultivation level. After a short moment of silence, the crowd in the central plaza stood up from their seats in shock. This is Mo Qingyun's second martial spirits ability? This martial spirits ability is too strong. This is unbelievable. I didn't expect Mo Qingyun to have such a method. Is he still human? With such a method and the red-haired old man beside him, I'm afraid no one below the Heaven Star Border Stage 6 can suppress them. Hiss! Mo Qingyun is so terrifying. Luckily, I didn't provoke him. At this moment, the crowd looked at Mo Qingyun with reverence. This is impossible. This must be fake. He can't have such a talent. Impossible. At this moment, Long Wancho's face was filled with regret. It was as if he had gone mad. He regretted that he had rejected his grandson-in-law with such terrifying talent. Judging from Mo Qingyun's methods, once he broke through to the Heaven Star Border Realm, he would be invincible in Flame City. One had to know that apart from suppressing the cultivation of others, Mo Qingyun also had a martial soul superpower that could increase his own strength. The combination of these two methods was simply too frightening. How many heaven-defying techniques does this brat have? He has even mastered a martial spirit divine ability that can suppress the cultivation of others. This is really... Lin Tang was so shocked that his expression twitched. For a moment, he was incoherent. This time, he was really frightened. Long Wancho has suffered a huge loss this time. Yi Jingtian sighed. He glanced at Long Wancho and sighed. With Mo Qingyun's ability, any family that receives his help will have their strength raised to a whole new level. I didn't expect him to have such an ability. If he comes to my burning heavens hall, won't our burning heavens hall be able to suppress the other sex? Dwamuwaner was shocked. She thought for a moment and smiled slyly. Big brother Yun, I will definitely pull you into my burning heavens hall. While everyone was still in shock, Mo Qingyun once again displayed his martial soul superpower and attacked the last Heaven Star border stage for Elder from Mystic Ice Palace. Puff! Under the attack of the sealed gate, that person immediately vomited blood like Luo Linhe and Long Wanshou. His face turned pale. Soon, his cultivation fell to the Heaven Star border stage 3. After this person's cultivation fell to the Heaven Star border stage 3, he, who originally had the upper hand, was immediately suppressed by Long Rulan. As for the battle between Lung Qingfeng and Chang Mei, because Lung Qingfeng's cultivation had just broken through to the Heaven Star border stage 4, he was no match for Chang Mei, who was at the peak of the Heaven Star border stage 4. As a result, Luo Linhe and the rest, who had the upper hand just now, fell into a passive situation in the blink of an eye. Such a change in the situation made everyone feel that it was unreal. This change was simply too fast. At the same time, what made it even harder for them to accept was that the person who caused this situation was actually a Yuan Danrealm Jr. A Yuan Danrealm Jr. was able to change the situation of a Heaven Star border stage expert. This kind of ability could be considered heaven-defying. As a result, everyone sighed in their hearts. Talented people were born in every generation. Seeing that they had all fallen into a passive situation and were in a passive situation, Luo Linhe immediately understood in his heart that their advantage today was gone. After which, Luo Linhe no longer hesitated and decisively said, "Let's go back to the Lung residence and regroup with Elder Jixin." Given Elder Jixin's cultivation base at the middle of the 6th level of Heavenly Dipper, he should be able to easily annihilate Mo Qingyun and the others. After saying this, Luo Linhe did not continue to stay. He forced Qi Lian back with a palm strike and quickly escaped. Seeing that Luo Linhe was escaping, the other 2 elders from Mystic Ice Palace did not dare to stay any longer. After forcing Tang Zhan and Long Rulan to retreat, they quickly followed behind Luo Linhe and escaped. Elder Luo, seeing that Luo Linhe and the other 2 had escaped, the Lung family's expression changed and their hearts started to panic. With the battle strength that Mo Qingyun had displayed, if it wasn't for Luo Linhe and the other 2's help, they wouldn't have the slightest ability to resist. Immediately retreat to the Lung family. Lung Qingfeng's expression was flustered as he spoke to the Lung family. With a flash of his body, he arrived beside Lung Yufeng and quickly left with Lung Yufeng. "You want to leave?" "Not so easy." Seeing that Lung Qingfeng and Luo Linhe and the rest had escaped, Qi Lian's expression darkened, and he planned to continue chasing after them. "Qi Lian, ignore Luo Linhe and the rest." Seeing Qi Lian's actions, Mo Qingyun's expression was cold as he stopped him and said, "As for Lung Wuya and the rest, let every single one of them go." "Yes, young lord." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Qi Lian gave up chasing after Luo Linhe and the rest and changed his target to Lung Wuya and the rest. Mo Qingyun, don't mess around. This is the Hidden Dragon Institute. Seeing that Qi Lian and Tang Zhan were attacking them, Lung Wuya's expression instantly became flustered as he spoke to Mo Qingyun in a panic. After speaking to Mo Qingyun in a panic, Lung Wuya's expression became flustered again as he begged Lung Qingfeng, who was running away. Old ancestor, save me." Hearing Lung Wuya's words, Lung Qingfeng paused and turned his head to look at Qi Lian and the rest. However, after looking at Qi Lian and the rest, Lung Qingfeng brought Lung Yufeng and ran a little faster. He didn't dare to stay behind. Lung Wuya and the rest were very clear in his heart that if he stayed behind, he would really stay forever. Seeing that Lung Qingfeng didn't seem to hear Lung Wuya's words, everyone's expression immediately changed as they sighed in their hearts. It seemed that Lung Qingfeng had made a very clear choice between Lung Wuya and Lung Yufeng. He felt that Lung Yufeng's value was greater than Lung Wuya's. Therefore, when he ran for his life, he immediately thought of bringing Lung Yufeng away. Seeing this scene, everyone immediately felt like a fox mourning the death of a rabbit. Their gazes towards Lung Wuya became complicated. One of the 5 major factions of Flame Capital, the head of the Lung family, Lung Wuya, actually ended up like this. Chapter 455. We Can't Fight in the Hidden Dragon Institute. Hearing Lung Wuya's words, Mo Qingyun looked at him with disdain and sneered. Why didn't you think that this is the Hidden Dragon Institute and that you can't fight here? Lung Wuya was speechless when he heard Mo Qingyun's words. He didn't know how to refute. If you don't follow the rules, what right do you have to ask me to follow the rules? Mo Qingyun looked at Lung Wuya with disdain and said coldly, Since you've become a whore, don't pretend to be chaste. Otherwise, people will despise you even more. Mo Qingyun looked cold after he mocked Lung Wuya. He said to Qi Lian, Don't kill them yet. Take them back to the Tianyin mansion. I'll deal with them slowly. Yes, young lord. Qi Lian nodded when he heard Mo Qingyun's words. He walked towards Lung Wuya and the others with a gloomy expression. Lung Wuya and the others panicked when they saw Qi Lian approaching. They begged Mo Qingyun, Mo Qingyun, I know I was wrong. Please don't kill me. I'll do anything as long as you don't kill me. Don't kill you? Mo Qingyun sneered when he heard Lung Wuya's words. He asked, Lung Wuya, do you think that's possible? Qi Lian and Tang Zhan had already started attacking Lung Wuya and the others when Mo Qingyun mocked them. In the face of Qi Lian and Tang Zhan's attacks, Lung Wuya and the others were practically powerless to resist. They were instantly crippled by Qi Lian and Tang Zhan. Take them back to the Tianyin mansion, Mo Qingyun said coldly when he saw Qi Lian and Tang Zhan cripple Lung Wuya and the others. Founding Elder Longbrow, Dean Uncle Yi, I still have something to do. I'll take my leave first. After bidding farewell to Yi Jingtian and the others, Mo Qingyun left with Qi Lian and the others. He stood up and returned to the Tianyin mansion. The people from the profound ice palace are still in the Flame Capital. I have to report to the old ancestors of the Burning Sky Palace and let them deal with this. After Mo Qingyun left, Yi Jingtian frowned. He immediately took out a communication jade slip and contacted the elders of the Yi clan in the Burning Sky Palace. While Yi Jingtian was contacting the elders of the Yi clan in the Burning Sky Palace, somewhere in the spectator's stand. Among the people from the Mystic Ice Palace, there seems to be an elder of the 6th Heavenly Dipper layer. With Mo Qingyun and the other strength, I'm afraid they won't be able to fight against the 6th Heavenly Dipper layer cultivator. Duanmu Wan-er's pretty face changed slightly as she watched Mo Qingyun gradually walk away. She said to an old man beside her, Elder Yi, the great Yin dynasty is under the jurisdiction of your Yi clan. Go and negotiate with the people from the profound ice palace. Young Miss Wan-er. After hearing Duanmu Wan-er's instructions, the elders of the Yi clan bowed respectfully and retreated. Young Miss, the people from the profound ice palace came to our Burning Sky Palace's territory to cause trouble. Why don't you let us kill them? At this moment, a red-robed elder beside Duanmu Wan-er was confused. I asked you to make a move and eliminate the people from the profound ice palace. How boring is that? Duanmu Wan-er smiled slyly and said, Compared to that, I'm more interested in seeing how Big Brother Yin will deal with them. After hearing Duanmu Wan-er's words, the red-robed elder's expression changed and he didn't say anything else. After Mo Qingyun left, founding Elder Long Brow pondered for a while and said to Huang Zhongyue, Zhongyue, I'll leave this to you. I'm going to the Tianyin mansion. Founding Elder Long Brow didn't stay any longer and immediately chased after Mo Qingyun. After founding Elder Long Brow left, the others also didn't stay any longer and left the central square. However, before everyone left, they glanced at Long Wancho with complicated gazes as all sorts of feelings welled up in their hearts. This time, The Long family had really misjudged Mo Qingyun's heaven-defying talent. Young lord, why didn't you let me chase after Luo Linhe and the others? Qi Lian asked Mo Qingyun with an unwilling expression. On the way to the Tianyin mansion, Qi Lian asked Mo Qingyun with a puzzled expression. He felt that it was a pity to let Luo Linhe and the others escape. That was a rare cultivation elixir. Mo Qingyun's expression turned grave when he heard Qi Lian's puzzled words. He said in a low voice, I'm worried that Luo Ba didn't just send Luo Linhe's group to Flame Capital. Therefore, it's not wise for you to pursue Luo Linhe's group. Qi Lian frowned when he heard Mo Qingyun's words. He understood what Mo Qingyun was thinking. If Luo Linhe and the others really did have a backup plan, he might fall into their trap if he rashly chased after them. At this moment, founding Elder Longbrow caught up while Mo Qingyun and the others were talking. Mo Qingyun was puzzled when he saw that founding Elder Longbrow had chased after him. He asked, Founding Elder Longbrow, why have you chased after me? I'm worried that the Lung family won't let this go and will take revenge on you in the Tianyin mansion. So I came to take a look. In that case, Qingyun will thank founding Elder Longbrow. Mo Qingyun was grateful when he heard founding Elder Longbrow's thoughts. He cupped his hands and thanked founding Elder Longbrow. Mo Qingyun and the others chatted as they returned to the Tianyin mansion. Qingyun, how do you plan to deal with Lung Wuya and the others? Founding Elder Longbrow frowned when he saw Qi Lian dragging Lung Wuya and the others behind him. He asked Mo Qingyun, I'm going to hang them outside the Tianyin mansion as an example to others. Mo Qingyun's expression turned cold when he heard founding Elder Longbrow's words. He emitted a sinister aura. Mo Qingyun wouldn't show mercy to his enemies. Mo Qingyun knew very well that if he fell into the Lung family's hands, his end wouldn't be much better. SSS. Founding Elder Longbrow sucked in a breath when he heard Mo Qingyun's words. He was surprised by Mo Qingyun's actions. However, he felt relieved after a short moment of surprise. He had lived for hundreds of years and had seen many such things. After a short while, they returned to the Tianyin mansion. Qi Lian erect a row of flagpoles outside the Tianyin mansion and hang Lung Wuya and the others as an example to others. After entering the Tianyin mansion, Mo Qingyun said to Qi Lian with a cold expression, Yes, young master. After Qi Lian heard this, he nodded in response and moved together with Tang Zhan. Mo Qingyun smiled brightly after he instructed Qi Lian. He turned to Long Rulin and said, Mother, let's go see father and the others. Okay. Long Rulin became excited when she heard Mo Qingyun mention Mo Feiyu. She could finally see Mo Feiyu after 20 years. Chapter 456. As they walked into the Tianyin manor, the shock on Long Rulin's face became more and more intense. This was because she saw that the guards in the Tianyin manor all had the strength of a high-level pill palace. Even the 5 great factions of Flame Capital would not be able to do something like this. At this moment, Long Rulin realized that she seemed to have underestimated Mo Qingyun again. What kind of experiences did Qingyun go through all these years? Long Rulin frowned slightly as a strong sense of curiosity rose in her heart. She turned to look at Mo Qingyun beside her. With this in mind, Long Rulin went to the assembly hall with Mo Qingyun and found Mo Feiyu and the others. Father, look who I brought. Seeing Mo Feiyu in the conference hall, Mo Qingyun smiled brightly and pointed at Long Rulin beside him. Rulin. Seeing Long Rulin beside Mo Qingyun, Mo Feiyu's body trembled and his expression became emotional. Brother Feiyu. Looking at Mo Feiyu in front of her, Long Rulin was also emotional and tears welled up in her eyes. After close to 20 years, she could finally see Mo Feiyu again. Brother Feiyu? Hearing Long Rulin's words, Mo Qingyun was stunned. He was surprised by the way Long Rulin addressed him. It turned out that his cheap father, Mo Feiyu, had a big sister complex. Seeing such a scene, even Mo Qingyun, who was reborn as a supreme being, was dumbfounded. His heart was filled with confusion. He had to admit that he admired Mo Feiyu's ability to pick up girls. Seeing Mo Feiyu and Long Rulin's actions, Mo Hong Tian and the others in the hall quickly guessed Long Rulin's identity. Even so, they couldn't help but turn to Mo Qingyun and ask, "Qingyun, she's my mother, Long Rulin." Mo Qingyun smiled faintly when he heard everyone's question. "She's my mother, Long Rulin." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Mo Hong Tian and the others were shocked. Joy rose in their hearts. Mo Qingyun had actually brought Long Rulin back. After everyone was happy for Mo Qingyun and the other two, they tactfully left the discussion hall and left it to Mo Qingyun and the other two. They knew that Mo Qingyun and the other two must have a lot to say. "Father, mother, let's sit down and talk." After everyone left, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly and greeted Mo Feiyu and Mo. "Yes." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Mo Feiyu and Mo Feiyu nodded and sat down on the chairs at the side. Next, Mo Qingyun and the other two began to talk. "Little brother Feiyu, how have you been all these years?" Long Rulin asked Mo Feiyu with a sweet smile. It was as if they had returned to more than 20 years ago. "All these years, I've been in 100 countries' battlefield. I hope to meet you again." Mo Qingyun let out a sigh as he slowly recounted his experiences over the years. Hearing Mo Feiyu say that if he hadn't met Mo Qingyun back then, he would have almost died, his heart immediately clenched. "Lung Weia, you actually went back on your word and sent people from a low-tier kingdom to deal with Feiyu." Long Rulin's face turned cold as a chilling aura emanated from her body. "Mother, don't be angry." Seeing Long Rulin's expression, Mo Qingyun spread his hands and said in a deep voice, "It won't be long before the Lung family no longer exists in the Flame Capital." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Long Rulin and Mo Feiyu both nodded. They believed that Mo Qingyun had the ability to do so. Next, the three of them chatted for a while. At this moment, Mo Feiyu took out some rune stones and handed them to Long Rulin. "Rulin, these are rune stones that you gave me back then. I've been studying them all these years, but I haven't been able to find anything. You're smarter than me, so I'll return them to you now. You can study them in the future." Buzz. At this moment, when Mo Feiyu took out these rune stones, Mo Qingyun immediately felt a buzz in his head. At the same time, Mo Qingyun also felt that the light gate martial soul, which was usually very calm, had become restless. These rune stones actually triggered the light gate martial spirit's reaction. At this moment, looking at the rune stones in Mo Feiyu's hand, Mo Qingyun was shocked. He thought to himself, "Also, these rune stones seem to be the same as the stone door fragments I obtained in the 100 Countries battlefield. Could it be?" Seeing Mo Qingyun's expression change, Long Rulin and Mo Feiyu's expressions immediately changed. They hurriedly asked Mo Qingyun with concern, "Qingyun, what's wrong?" Mo Qingyun calmed the excitement in his heart when he heard Long Rulin and Mo Qingyun's words. He asked, "Mother, how did you obtain these talisman stones?" "I obtained these rune stones in a secret place in the 100 Countries battlefield in Yuan-Dan." Long Rulin described the situation in detail to Mo Qingyun. As she finished speaking, Long Rulin's expression became solemn, and she said in a deep voice, "When I entered that secret plane, I was already pregnant with you. I remember that at that time, when I obtained these strange runes, a strange white light flashed from them and quickly entered my body," Long Rulin continued. "At that time, I was very worried that the white light would cause me to miscarry. Fortunately, the white light caused my fetus to move for a while before returning to normal. After that, I felt that these rune stones were not simple, so I gave them to your father to study." A white light flashed from a stone. Hearing Long Rulin's words, Mo Qingyun's body immediately shook. The shock on his face became even more intense. He felt that the white light was very likely the light gate martial spirit. This meant that the light gate martial spirit was not born in his previous life, but was brought from these strange rune stones. Then, what was the connection between the light gate martial spirit and these strange rune stones? Also, what was the origin of the light gate martial spirit? At this moment, a strong sense of curiosity rose in Mo Qingyun's heart. Qingyun, are you okay? Seeing Mo Qingyun's expression change rapidly and not speaking for a long time, Long Rulin asked with concern. Father, Mother, I'm fine. Don't worry. Seeing their expressions, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly at them, indicating that they did not need to be nervous. Then, Mo Qingyun frowned slightly and said with some difficulty, Mother, these rune stones may be useful to me. Can you give them to me? You want these rune stones? Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Long Rulin's expression changed. She was surprised by Mo Qingyun's actions. Mo Qingyun had studied these rune stones for nearly 20 years, but he did not know the use of these rune stones. However, Mo Qingyun actually knew the use of these rune stones. This kind of thing really surprised her. Yes. When Mo Qingyun heard this, he nodded with a solemn expression. Boom, boom, boom. At this moment, just as Mo Qingyun was puzzled, the tightly shut stone door of the light gate martial spirit slowly opened. As the stone door of the light gate martial spirit slowly opened, a pure and powerful energy escaped from the light gate martial spirit. This energy, feeling the energy escaping from the light gate martial spirit, Mo Qingyun's expression suddenly changed. He was a little surprised at the grade of this energy. Mo Qingyun was sure that the grade of the energy escaping from the light gate martial spirit was definitely higher than the yuan qi of the heavenly spirit continent. Not long after the light gate martial spirit's stone door was completely opened, a celestial scene appeared in front of Mo Qingyun's eyes. Seeing the scene inside the light gate martial spirit, Mo Qingyun's expression changed, and a feeling of shock rose in his heart. He said in surprise, this behind the light gate martial spirit is actually connected to another world. From the looks of it, this world seemed to be a higher level world than the heavenly spirit continent. This discovery really shocked Mo Qingyun, and it made Mo Qingyun's mood become very excited. After a short moment of shock, driven by strong curiosity, Mo Qingyun lifted his foot and walked into the light gate martial spirit. Following that, Mo Qingyun felt his vision blur, and he arrived in front of an endless road. In front of this road, there was a huge stone tablet, and 3 big words were written on it: Immortality Road. Immortality Road. Looking at the stone tablet in front of him, Mo Qingyun's expression immediately changed, and his face was full of shock. He said, this stone tablet contains a wave of willpower, and this willpower seems to be a very mysterious power. After a short moment of shock, Mo Qingyun did not hesitate any longer. He immediately sat down in front of the stone tablet and felt the willpower in the stone tablet. As Mo Qingyun felt the willpower in the stone tablet, his appearance began to change, and he gradually became older. After a short while, Mo Qingyun's appearance changed from that of a youth to that of an old man in his twilight years. Immortality. Is there really immortality in this world? At the same time, the expression on Mo Qingyun's face became more and more confused. At this moment, Mo Qingyun seemed to have fallen into a demonic barrier, and he was unable to pull his mind out of it. At this moment, when Mo Qingyun fell into this demonic barrier, the light gate martial spirit immediately shone brightly, and it emitted a shocking power. Under this power, the confused Mo Qingyun was immediately bounced out of the light gate martial spirit. Whoosh! After being bounced out of the light gate martial spirit, Mo Qingyun immediately woke up, and he was so shocked that he broke out in a cold sweat. The situation just now was really too dangerous. Chapter 458. After a short while, Mo Qingyun arrived at the conference hall. When he arrived at the conference hall, Mo Qingyun saw Yi Jingtian and an elder in blue sitting on the right side of the conference hall. Judging from Yi Jingtian's actions, he seemed to be very respectful to the elder. Hence, the elder in blue must be someone important. Uncle Yi, sorry to keep you waiting. After walking into the Tianyan Mansion's meeting hall, Mo Qingyun looked apologetic as he bowed slightly to Yi Jingtian. No need for formalities. Seeing Mo Qingyun's actions, Yi Jingtian waved his hand and smiled. Speaking of which, the two of us came uninvited. After exchanging some pleasantries with Mo Qingyun, Yi Jingtian pointed to the elder beside him and introduced, Qingyun, let me introduce you. This is Patriarch Ting Yin from the Yi clan. After introducing Yi Tingyin to Mo Qingyun, Yi Jingtian pointed to Mo Qingyun and introduced, Patriarch Tingyin, this is nephew Qingyun. Qingyun greets elder. After knowing Yi Tingyan's identity, Mo Qingyun showed some respect and bowed to Yi Tingyin. No need for formalities. Seeing Mo Qingyun's actions, Yi Tingyin smiled and shrugged at Mo Qingyun. Immediately after, Mo Qingyun sat down beside the two of them and asked Yi Jingtian, Uncle Yi, why did you and elder come to Tianyan Mansion to look for me? Seeing that Mo Qingyun went straight to the point, Yi Jingtian didn't beat around the bush and said, Not long ago, Patriarch Ting Yin and I went to the Lung family and negotiated with the people from the Dark Eyes Palace. They agreed to leave Flame City immediately. Hence, you don't have to worry about their revenge. Yi Jingtian paused for a while before he continued. Also, the Lung family has decided to move out of Flame City and to the neighboring Ice Glaze dynasty. The Lung family is leaving Flame City. Hearing Yi Jingtian's words, Mo Qingyun was stunned. He was surprised by the news. At this moment, Mo Qingyun finally understood why the Lung family hadn't done anything even though Lung Wuya and the others have been hung outside the Tianyan Mansion for a few days. So it was because of Yi Tingyan's appearance that they decided to leave Flame Capital. Hence, they had no time to care about Lung Wuya and the others. If that's the case, then I'll have to thank Uncle Yi and Senior. After realizing this, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly and thanked Yi Jingtian and the other man. He knew that Yi Jingtian and Yi Jingtian's actions were out of consideration for him. They were helping him to resolve his worries. Otherwise, if the Mystic Ice Palace sent another Heavenly Dipper Stage 6 expert, Mo Qingyun and the others wouldn't be able to fight against them. We're all on the same side. You don't have to be so polite. Yi Jingtian waved his hand in response to Mo Qingyun's words of gratitude. He then smiled meaningfully at Mo Qingyun and said, Qingyun, if you're free in the future, come visit me more often. We have been talking about you for the past few days. Seeing Yi Jingtian's expression, Mo Qingyun was stunned. He then nodded his head awkwardly. After that, Mo Qingyun and Yi Jingtian continued to talk for a while. However, most of the time, they were talking about trivial matters. After chatting for a while, Yi Jingtian and Yi Tingyin didn't stay any longer and left the Tianyan Mansion. Lung Qingfeng, at least you know what's good for you. In that case, I'll let you live a little longer. After hearing from Yi Jingtian that the Lung family was preparing to leave Flame City, Mo Qingyun's face turned cold. After saying that, Mo Qingyun said to Qi Lian, since the Lung family is preparing to leave Flame City, release Lung Wuya and the others from the flagpole outside the mansion. As for how to deal with them, you could decide for yourself. Thank you, young lord. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Qi Lian was pleasantly surprised. He thanked Mo Qingyun. In Qi Lian's opinion, Mo Qingyun's words meant that he was allowed to refine Lung Wuya and the others to raise his cultivation. Since he was in the Heavenly Dipper stage 4, refining Lung Wuya and the others' blood essence wouldn't increase his cultivation significantly. However, no matter how small a mosquito was, it was still meat. After all, Lung Wuya and the others were Heavenly Dipper stage elites. If Qi Lian refined their blood essence, he would be able to improve his cultivation slightly. After receiving Mo Qingyun's silent approval, Qi Lian didn't hesitate any longer. He immediately got up to deal with Leng Wuya and the others. At that moment, Long Ruolin and Mo Feiyu walked over while Qi Lian was dealing with them. Qingyan, I'm planning to make a trip to the Long family with your father. Do you want to come with us? Long Ruolin walked over to Mo Qingyun and smiled at Mo Qingyun. She then asked for Mo Qingyun's opinion. Hearing Long Ruolin's words, Mo Qingyun frowned slightly. After pondering for a while, he said, "All right, I'll go with you to the Long family." After agreeing to go with Long Ruolin to the Long family, Mo Qingyun called Tang Zhan along. Although Yi Jingtian and Mo Feiyu had already negotiated with the people from the Dark Ice Palace, it was better to be careful at this moment. After all, Luo Linhe and the others weren't afraid of Yi Tingyan. If he had the chance, he definitely wouldn't let Mo Qingyun go. After they killed Mo Qingyun, they would immediately return to the Dark Ice Palace. Once they returned to the Dark Ice Palace, even if Yi Tingyan wanted to take revenge, it would be too late. With that, Mo Qingyun and the other three left the Tianyan mansion and headed to the Long mansion. After about 15 minutes, Mo Qingyun and the other three arrived at the Long mansion. Let's go and see the ancestor of Tianqing. Chapter 459. Senior Sister Wuyo, Brother Lu, you're all here. Walking towards Long Yutian and the rest, Mo Qingyun greeted them with a faint smile. Qingyun, why are you here? Seeing Mo Qingyun's arrival, Long Yutian and the rest's eyes flickered and they looked nervous. Obviously, Mo Qingyun's sudden arrival was out of their expectations. Mo Qingyun smiled and said, I'm here with my mother to pay our respects to Sky City's patriarch. While Mo Qingyun was speaking, Long Yutian and the rest looked hesitant. They were thinking about how to tell Mo Qingyun about Long Hanyun's transfer. Seeing Long Yutian and the rest's abnormal expressions, Mo Qingyun frowned and asked, Cousin Yutian, did something happen? Why do all of you look so serious? Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Long Yutian looked troubled and frowned. I heard rumors in the clan that the patriarch might want to transfer Han Yin to the Glazed Ice Martial House. Transfer Han Yin to the Glazed Ice Martial House? Hearing Long Yutian's words, Mo Qingyun's face showed some surprise. He was surprised by this news. If that's the case, Long Wanshou is determined to hand Han Yin over to Leng Yufeng. After being stunned for a moment, Mo Qingyun quickly connected the dots and said coldly, If that's the case, then don't blame me for not giving you any face. When he said this, Mo Qingyun's body emitted a chilling aura and his face immediately turned cold. Seeing Mo Qingyun's expression, Long Yutian and the rest's expressions changed and a trace of anxiety rose in their hearts. They were very worried that if Mo Qingyun was angered and brought people to exterminate Long Wanshou, then it would be troublesome. Following that, Yi Wuyo's expression tensed as he said, Junior Qingyun, you absolutely cannot be impulsive and do anything that will harm Long Wanshou. If you do that, there will be estrangement between you and Han Yin. Hearing Yi Wuyo's words, Mo Qingyun's expression calmed down. He smiled at her. Senior Sister Wuyo, you don't need to worry. I'm not so angry that I'll lose my mind and treat Long Wanshou the same way I treated Leng Wuya. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, the expressions of Yi Wuyo and the others relaxed, as if a large stone had been lifted from their hearts. Just now, they were really worried that after Mo Qingyun received this news, he would directly rush to deal with Long Wanshou in a fit of rage. With Mo Qingyun's current strength, if he wanted to deal with Long Wanshou, no one would be able to stop him. Senior Sister Wuyo, Cousin Yutian, you guys continue to stay here. I'll go take a look at Han Yin. Following that, Mo Qingyun exchanged a few more words with Yi Wuyo and the others before bidding them farewell. Following that, Mo Qingyun no longer hesitated and immediately got up to look for Long Han Yin. Because he had been to Long Hanyun's residence before, Mo Qingyun was familiar with the place this time. She turned to look at Long Wancho and said, "Grandfather, Han Yin thanks you for so many years of nurturing and grooming. But you want me to marry Lung Yufeng? This is absolutely impossible. Also, Qin Yun's talent far surpasses Lung Yufeng's. Why don't you acknowledge Qin Yun?" Long Han Yin said with a face of dissatisfaction. "Talent?" Long Wancho glanced coldly at Mo Qin Yun. He revealed a look of dissatisfaction and snorted coldly. "Humph! A brat who doesn't know the rules also wants to marry my Long family's woman. Dream on." Long Wancho, seeing Long Wancho's attitude, Mo Qin Yun's face immediately sank. His body emitted a chilling aura. "Qin Yun, don't." Long Hanyun's expression changed greatly. She revealed a difficult expression and hurriedly persuaded Mo Qin Yun. At this time, Long Wancho revealed a smug smile when he saw this scene. He sneered and said, "Mo Qin Yun, do you really want to make a move on me? Kill me if you have the ability. If you kill me, you can forget about marrying Han Yin in this lifetime." Ha! Chapter 460. Seeing Long Wancho's reaction, Mo Qin Yun's face immediately turned gloomy. A cold light flashed in his eyes. However, seeing Long Hanyun's pleading expression, Mo Qin Yun finally held it in. He clenched his fists and said coldly, "Long Wancho, you're in the same nest as a wolf. Be careful not to get caught in your own trap." "Umph, you don't have to worry about this." Long Wancho snorted coldly. With a cold expression, he said coldly to Mo Qin Yun, "If you still want your face, then get out of my Long family immediately. Don't be so thick-skinned and shameless." Hearing Long Wancho's words, Mo Qin Yun revealed a tender expression. He said to Long Han Yin, "Han Yin, follow me to the Tianyin mansion. There's nothing to be reluctant to leave here." Qin Yun returned to the Tianyin mansion first. "Let me handle this matter myself." Hearing Mo Qin Yun's words, Long Han Yin smiled faintly at Mo Qin Yun. She said gently, "Trust me, I'll definitely be able to handle it. All right, if anyone dares to force you, ask Cousin Yuqian to look for me at the Tianyin mansion." Hearing Long Hanyun's words, Mo Qin Yun instructed her. He then got up and walked towards Long Tianqing's residence. Since Long Han Yin had spoken, Mo Qin Yun naturally couldn't say anything more. He couldn't force Long Han Yin to follow him to the Tianyin mansion. Moreover, he believed that since Long Han Yin had said so, she should be able to handle this matter satisfactorily. After leaving Long Hanyun's residence, Mo Qin Yun went to the side mansion of the Long family to look for Mo Feiyu and Long Rulin. After a while, Mo Qin Yun arrived at the side mansion of the Long family. At this moment, Long Yuqian was still drinking in the pavilion. However, Lu Fengliang and the others had already left. When Long Yuqian saw Mo Qin Yun, he smiled and walked towards Mo Qin Yun. It seemed like he had been waiting for Mo Qin Yun. "Cousin Qin Yun, the Sky City Patriarch has sent someone to look for you. Since you're here, follow me to meet him." Long Yuqian walked up to Mo Qin Yun and said something to Mo Qin Yun. He then put his arm on Mo Qin Yun's shoulder and smirked. "You went to see Cousin Han Yin just now. What did you say about Cousin Han Yin transferring to another school?" Mo Qin Yun said truthfully, "When I went, Long Wancho was also there. I had a dispute with him, and in the end, we parted on bad terms. In order to avoid making things difficult for Han Yin, I left first. Long Wancho, that coward again. He only knows how to bully the good and fear the evil." Hearing Mo Qin Yun mention Long Wancho, Long Yuqian's face was filled with anger. He said disdainfully, "Ever since their bloodline took over the Long family has become more and more destitute. Now, they've almost become the Lung family's lackeys." Long Yuqian's face was filled with anger. He continued, "Also, Long Wancho's bloodline can only wag their tails and beg in front of the Lung family. Was it making things difficult for him to learn from Mo Qin Yun? What Mo Qin Yun had done, was it something he could do? Not to mention Long Yuqian. Even if Long Tianqing recovered from his leg injury, he still wouldn't be able to do what Mo Qingyun did. Seeing Long Yutian's gloomy expression, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly and helped him smooth things over. Old ancestor, cousin Yutian's talent isn't any weaker than mine. As long as he cultivates diligently, his future achievements will definitely not be low. Mo Qingyun was very clear about Long Yutian's situation. He had obtained the Earth inheritance of the Five Direction Palace. The Earth Hall Master of the Five Direction Palace was an expert who had surpassed the Sovereign Realm when he was alive. As long as Long Yutian digested his inheritance, it wouldn't be difficult for him to break through to the Sovereign Realm given his talent. Old ancestor, did you hear that? Cousin Qingyun said the same thing about me, so you don't have to worry about my cultivation. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Long Yutian revealed a smile, and a faint trace of pride appeared on his face. Qingyun, he was just being polite. You really took it seriously. Looking at the proud Long Yutian, Long Tianqing glared at him and said sternly, from now on, if your cultivation doesn't reach the intermediate Yuan Dan realm within a month, I will lock you up in the Dragon Repentance Valley for half a year. You won't be allowed to drink for half a year. No, no way. Hearing Long Tianqing say that he wouldn't be allowed to drink for half a year, Long Yutian immediately revealed an anxious expression. He couldn't live without alcohol. You still have the nerve to speak out after being beaten up. Long Tianqing fiercely scolded Long Uni. His expression turned colder as he roared at Long Uni. Why aren't you scrambling back to cultivate and raise your cultivation? The next time we attack, we'll ruthlessly teach them a lesson. Hearing Long Tianqing's words, Mo Qingyun couldn't help but be stunned. He was very surprised by Long Tianqing's actions. It seemed that Long Tianqing's ancestor was an interesting person. After scolding Long Uni, Long Tianqing pointed at Mo Qingyun and sternly said, "You bastards, learn more from Qingyun in the future. As long as you can learn half of his abilities, I won't have to worry about you anymore." Hearing Long Tianqing's words, Mo Qingyun couldn't help but be stunned. He was somewhat speechless, learning from him again. After that, Long Tianqing reprimanded Long Uni once more before sending him away. Oof. Long Tianren is really getting more and more overboard. It seems that I should go talk to him. After Long Uni left, Long Tianqing's expression turned cold. It seemed that his thoughts weren't as simple as he made them out to be. You're tuning into the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.